Anybody who puts cheesies on top of ice cream cake, and I always worry about it. Hi, Baxter. By the way, his dog is watching. Hi, Baxter. How are you, buddy? Eva, how are you? Nice to see you. Graves a Turtle, welcome to Spaced Out Radio on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. Bombshell Bomber, thanks for coming on in. Bigfoot Rob. Sean, how you doing? Millennium, good to see you. Noble Patrick, thank you for joining us. And we only got about a few seconds. Jay Breezy, thank you for taking us in. Steve Stockton from KPNL. Gorgeous Marie, thank you for coming on in. I think we're caught up. Oh, there's Spookles the cat wishing us a happy birthday. Spookles the awesome cat. We love her around here. She is the best. She really is. 5,900 Buck and Golden Lee A. Thank you for coming on in. Too Far Gone from Earth and Showtime. Nice to see you guys. Cedric, thank you for the birthday wishes. Really appreciate that. Azrazel, thank you for coming on in. Hey, Coreyfoot, thank you so much for that super chat. Really do appreciate that. Joshua, thank you for coming on in. We're going to get going here. You could be like Corey, support us with the super chat. If not, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. We're going to kick some ass tonight on this show, so let's have some fun tonight. We want you to be right with us. Uncle Dale and his Power Stasher here. Rub it, people, for good luck. Here we go. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free for you by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Now, every year at this great date, where we celebrate my birthday and Ian Holt's birthday, we come together on the radio for an awesome radio show where we kind of just shoot the breeze about everything that's going on and what is happening in the world. Now, Ian is a 72 edition. I'm a 73 edition. And we absolutely decided a few years ago, if you're new to tuning on in, that we really needed to get this thing going. We really needed to make sure that we were, doing this birthday thing together. And why not? We have fun with it. And we're friends at the same time, both Yankee fans, so that just works. That just works. Absolutely it works. We're also joined up in the corner there, if you're looking at us on YouTube or Twitch, that's Nate Rudd. He is one of the best Bigfoot researchers in the state of Washington. And if you're on camera looking at him, man, is his hair looking good. Fantastic. High and tight. I'm almost thinking his wife combed his hair for this show. I really am. But this is our birthday show. We are also going to be joined by special guest Joe Diamond, who is going to come on, and for our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see it, but for our radio guests, you're going to have to use your imagination. He's going to be performing some magic tricks for us, but if you're listening on radio, you can always check out our archives for free, because that's where you can check it on out. That's where the magic happens. So yes, we highly recommend that as well. And later on in the show, we're going to open up this show to our audience. Yes, we are. We're going to put the link in to our StreamYard, and if our audience wants to come in and say hello, we're going to actually, it's like taking callers. I don't take callers, but tonight we're going to hear from the audience, because that only sounds like fun. Ian Holt, my good friend, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Dave Scott. We survived another year.
I know. And this time we really do have UFOs to talk about.
Really? They're real now. We're not crazy anymore. They've taken away the straitjacket they had put away for us.
I know. We're not as woo anymore. You know, this is what sucks. UFOs are becoming fashionable. You watch here by the end of summer, or after this June 25th date, where the UFO report is going to come out, I bet you every major store starts carrying UFO clothing.
Of course. They're going to be ET. They're going to make ET the sequel or something. ET 2. Spielberg's already going to work on it. Watch. We're gonna be like sellouts because they're going to think we sold out. We're riding the UFO gravy train. We were there when it wasn't cool.
That's right. That's right. We were there before the tinfoil was even created.
Yeah,
for
like
us.
we hung with Dylan when he was acoustic.
Yeah, by the way, we should also say happy 80th birthday to Bob Dylan. For the last 60 years, No one has understood a word he has said. You know, I saw Bob Dylan in concert once. Honestly, it was the worst concert I've ever been to. I wanted to see him because he's an absolute legend. And how many times, you know, when a legend comes around, how many times you actually get to see him. And I'll tell you, that was the biggest 2-hour waste of my life. I will never get that time back.
Yeah, well, it's not about the experience of seeing him. It's about saying you saw him.
What do you mean? He couldn't sing. That's the
Doesn't
problem.
matter. It doesn't matter. You don't really, you can't like relate to someone how he sang. You just say, hey, you know, when he's gone, you go, you know, tell your kids, I saw Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, okay, I saw Led Zeppelin. They were so old they didn't move, but, you know, they were there on stage.
I'm proud to say my son wants to see Guns N' Roses. I'm very happy about that. Today he asked me, he's like, Daddy, how old is Axl Rose? I said, way older than you, my friend.
Well, it's not Axl Rose anymore. He's become an old Jewish lady if you look at him.
You stop that. You stop that. That's not even funny. It's not even funny. You know, you can't be talking about the legend that way on this show.
Hey, this is payback. When I was in college, every girl I dated was like, "Oh, Axel's so hot." I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, gee, thanks. What about me? Am I hot?"
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, he literally looks like Mama from Throw Mama from a Train. I'm just waiting for him to go on stage and say, Owen. You know. That's
I got two shout outs. I gotta say hi to two new listeners that are joining us tonight. We've got Joey Salmaggi out there in New York listening. Joey's a sausage king of New York. Only the people who love Ferris Bueller will get that joke. I hope Joey gets it. Joey Salmaggi is a sausage king of New York. And we have Franz Nardone is listening from an intern at his new recording studio, Manhattan Beach Recordings.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I hope they enjoy the show. Now, of course, we always talk a little woo here. Let's talk about some aliens here, because we just started covering it just a few moments ago. This is going to be the next big thing here. Everybody's going to be taking advantage of it. Hollywood's going to be taking advantage of it. We're going to lose our credibility here pretty darn quick because, you know, nobody's going to want to talk to us because everybody's going to be an expert on this. Just like everybody became a ghost hunting expert when ghost hunting television came into play. So what do you think's going on here, Ian?
I think that Elizondo leaked this video, those first two videos, and it was authenticated by the people that were involved, and I think they had nowhere to go but to admit it. And I think when the Democrats were in power, Harry Reid felt he could, especially since he retired, he felt he could admit the truth. That he had put this, I mean, do you remember? I mean, now it's all like, it's so cool. But I mean, you know, right-wing radio, Fox News was all crazy about Harry Reid spending $20 million researching UFOs. You know, but the response from the public, thank you, public, has been so extraordinary that no one's laughing at it anymore.
Well, that's the big thing for me, man, is, you know, and Nate, I know you're more of a Bigfoot guy, but I know you've been following this UFO story quite a bit here. Do you think the public is getting fed good information on this subject?
Yeah, Dave, it seems like it. I'm really excited. There's been so much news, and things being exposed and coming out by officials now, which is super exciting. And the videos themselves, just amazing to me. I mean, I'm wrapped up in it. I don't study it like you guys do, but I'm definitely I'm out here watching it, watching what's going on and trying to pay attention. And I'm hoping someday they'll disclose some Bigfoot for us too, but that may be down the road a ways. Well, yeah, I've seen a couple myself, So I mean, yeah, I'm into it. I like this. It's been fun.
It connects to Bigfoot because a lot of times there's lights in the sky when Bigfoot appears. Yeah. So I mean, those are also UFOs. Like nobody's saying what the video we have is aliens. We just don't know what it is. So right. It connects to Bigfoot and everything. So
yeah, no, you got a good point there, Ian. Yeah, there's a lot of eyewitnesses that say they saw a UFO or a bright light in the sky right after they
lightning. Is it swamp?
Yeah, or right before a sighting. Yeah. So there's a lot of possibilities out there. I mean, the thing that blows me away though is this is huge, and there's been some articles and there's been some coverage, the 60 Minutes thing, but this should be like just all over the news, number one leading story in my mind. I don't quite understand. Maybe it just hasn't hit yet.
I think it has to do with the the Majestic 12 report, that was done that, basically says if we accept the idea of aliens, then all countries no longer matter. We're one people on one planet and a sea of planets with a lot of different peoples. So, it could cause the collapse of religion. I mean, if aliens are in space and God didn't create us in our own image, is there God? Is God an alien? It creates all these questions that we never had before, which could collapse the core of our society. So a lot of people are afraid of just, the possibility that aliens could be real.
That's a great point, Ian. And I think you can tie Bigfoot into that too. That's why they haven't disclosed that, because that changes everything also.
Sure.
Changes history, changes religion, changes everything. Absolutely.
There are those that, that talk all the time that Bigfoot are the giants that are mentioned in the Bible. The fallen angels and that are the watchers. And, I mean, there's so many different stories of what Bigfoot could be, especially for the Native American traditions. So, I mean, one thing it's almost like it's a house of cards. Or one card falls and like all these paranormal things are going to fall.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you nailed it right.
Yeah, and what's kind of interesting me about this whole topic is, and by the way, in 2 nights' time, we are going to have Luis Elizondo back on this show. But they've got to start answering some questions. This is a topic that is going to literally affect every single person on this planet. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It is going to affect every single one of us. And we need to know what is going on. I don't believe for a second that it is a threat. And I'll tell you why. The only reason why they're calling it a threat right now is because that's how you get taxpayer money from the government. That's it. These guys, I'll tell you right now, if you talk to many of these guys, and I'm going to mention names, but you talk to them behind the scenes, there's no threat. But they have to say there's a threat in order to get control of the money and the funding of the money. I can tell you this right now. There are certain people, and once again, not going to mention names, that I have talked to that are very well known, who know damn well these things that were hovering over the ships in near Catalina Island in 2019, hovering over a helicopter pad, for the crew to see. They know it's not Russian. They know it's not Chinese. All right? They know. And we have to really, really be careful with that. And when you hear Luis Elizondo or you hear Chris Mellon speak on the air about a threat, that's where we have to literally watch and read between the lines. What do you guys think?
The threat is real. There is a threat. I totally disagree. And I don't agree it's from the aliens or who's ever controlling those ships. If it's from the idea that, let's say the Mahabharata, the Hindu texts are correct, that these ships came here long ago. They have a gyroscope, gold, and mercury engines. It's all in the Hindu text, how these engines work. If someone believes and the Russians creates a ship like that, or anti-gravity ship, that's where the threat comes from. That someone else on the planet will take charge of that technology. That ship crashes in the wrong country and they reverse engineer it. That's when, because the threat has always been from other humans. My philosophy on human beings comes from Planet of the Apes. Beware the beast man, shut him back into his jungle lair, or he will kill his brother to possess his brother's land. Beware the beast man, because that's what we are. We're a warlike culture, and we're greedy and everything else. So if we get this technology, one country will attack the other countries. And will the UFOs step in to save us? But there is a threat.
I would agree with you that the threat is us.
Yeah.
It's not the aliens. It's whatever path they want to take. Whether you got the false flag, whether you have the new Messiah, whether you have actual aliens. It's all going to come down to how we react.
I think I made this joke before, but I think the aliens are sitting up there. They're all in hyperspace, and they're all, hypersleep. And there's one guy at a window with a clock. Any minute now, these guys are going to wipe themselves out. The planet's ours. They're not going to fire a shot. They're just going to wait for us to destroy ourselves, and they're going to come down and get this nice, clean planet without the infestation of man.
Well, we're going to see. Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Ian. I think man is so power hungry, and they demonstrate that every day, right? That's the threat. I mean, getting that technology and then using it on another country. I have to agree 100% with Ian. I think if they wanted to hurt us, they could have done it a long time ago. We've seen kind of what they can do with their ships and the way they move and all that. I mean, we haven't seen any weapons or anything, but I'm sure they've got those too.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, guys. As far as we know, the aliens have never fired a shot. If they have technology to get here, okay, they pretty much have the technology to wipe us into obliteration if they are here. I think they are. I know others think they are. Yet we still have cities. We still have people walking around. We still have power. We still have satellites. We still have, the ability to communicate through cell phones and everything. We still have all the amenities that we want. So if the aliens are so bad, why haven't they taken us out yet?
Yeah, that was kind of my thought, Dave. Exactly.
Ian, what's you thinking?
I'm thinking, that they are. We're part of a grand experiment that started a very long time ago. I mean, if you look at the fossil record, I mean, there were so many species of upright walking apes. The idea of that the ape that walked on his knuckles, and it goes up to man, that evolution chart we've all seen, from the time we were kids, the Charles Darwin chart is all bullshit. Sorry, right? Can't say that. It's all these different little people that somehow, where other species took millions of years to evolve, we took 250,000 years. And our heads are too big to fit through the vaginal tract. So our heads have to be squished together, which is why we have the cranial sutures. We're the only species that's ever lived on this planet that's brains is too big for the vaginal tract of the mothers. So our skulls are too small, our brains are too big. None of it makes any sense. We have all this junk DNA in us, and we're mixed with Neanderthal DNA and other types of species that lived before us. And it's right there in the Mesopotamian texts, right? We were genetically engineered to be slaves to gold for the alien engines, right? They wrote that, right? The Anunnaki did that to us. So if it's there in a cuneiform text, it kind of makes sense. I mean, think about it. We're the only species that craves gold. We're the only species that ever enslaved our own race. It's genetically engineered in us to be dicks.
Little fired up on the fireball tonight.
Yeah.
Listen to you go. Listen to where you go. Nate, these UFOs, I mean, they're out there, man. People are having experiences. You know, what do you think the government is hiding from us when it comes to this story? I mean, you're and I mean this with all due politeness. You're an average guy who's not really into the whole the UFO thing. You're more into the Bigfoot thing, but you're gaining attention to this as the story grows. From an outsider's perspective, when you look at this story, you know, how do you think it's going to affect you, your son, your daughter, your wife, your family, your friends?
Well, I think at some point, Dave, people are going to have to accept it, right? I mean, we know it's real. They've showed us videos. The Pentagon has told us it's real. You know, we've got high level insiders telling us they're real. So at some point, I mean, I think there's a lot of people out here still that kind of just roll their eyes, even though the videos are out and they may have seen a clip on Fox News or whatever. You know, they're just, you know, I don't know what it's going to take to really wake people up, but I guarantee there's a lot more awake people now with this new stuff coming out.
Well, we're also, you know, Bigfoot. We see pictures of Bigfoot, this primate-looking, very tall creature. And again, because of the arrogance of man and this whole thing, like we're created in God's image, this whole idea of the arrogance of us, that we used to think we're the center of the universe, the sun revolved around us. I mean, how do we know that Bigfoot isn't the much more intelligent alien that we keep talking about? You know, just because they're hairy and they look like an ape doesn't mean they're not 10 times more intelligent than us. You know, there's been stories of them coming through portals. The Native Americans have written on, hieroglyphs on this, right? You know, pictograms and all that. They call them, you know, spiritual beings. You know, maybe they're interdimensional beings. But we naturally assume, well, you know, they're just animals. They could be much smarter than us. Their technology, they could be millions of years more advanced than us coming here.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing that we have to remember, too. We don't even know if these are aliens. Are they coming in from inner Earth? Are they coming in from other places?
Under the sea?
Under the sea. Absolutely. I mean, this is all stuff that we really have to figure out. Is it inner Earth? Are they us from the future? I mean, this is where it gets weird and where it gets scary. And, you know, as I've been talking to a lot of people, as we only have about 90 seconds left here, guys, as I've been talking to a lot of people regarding this subject over the last long while, the more I'm starting to wonder, are people really ready for this? Are they ready for it?
Well, they say, you know, all these things that you just mentioned is absolutely crazy. Yet it's not so crazy because it's all feasible within physics. Everything you just mentioned, from alternate dimensions, portals, all this, you know, wormholes, all this stuff is actual science from Einstein. It goes back to. He's the one who invented the wormhole theory. And all this stuff is real theory. So we're not making it up like, oh, maybe this guy just comes through the portal and shows up. No, this is actual science, even though it sounds wacky.
Well, you know, according to FAP in our chat room tonight, Dave is so old he has video footage of the Big Bang. I don't know whether I should be insulted by that because Ian's actually a year older, or if we're going to continue on. You know what? We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. I have no idea where this show is going because it's the birthday show. And every year, my good friend Ian Holt, who celebrates his birthday on the same day I do, we get together and we do a radio show to celebrate us. What more is there to celebrate on this planet today than us? It's all you need, people. And Bob Dylan. Yeah. There we go. There's your Bob Dylan for the night. We'll be back with Spaced Out Radio right after this. Hey, Cliff Barrickman is here. Hey, Cliff. How you doing, man? Just saw you sneak in there. Let's put your old picture up there. Look how good you're looking with that tight goatee there. Very nice. Very nice. Nice toque. Or a.k.a. beanie. Hi, brother Eugene. What's happening, man? Thank you for joining us. Who just cracked open a beer?
No, that was a...
Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Dave.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Dave.
Got a little Kona big wave going here. There it is.
Oh, nice. Sean, Dave is so old he taught cavemen you don't eat breakfast for dinner. That's damn rights I did that. Damn rights. Mr. Catfish, thank you for all the super chats. Dave invented the wheel. No, if you knew Dave around tools, he didn't invent the wheel. Uh-huh. Wow, Dave is so old, the Big Bang was how his kids were born. Wow. Fuck. Dave is old enough to remember when emojis were called hieroglyphics. Wow. Thanks, Joe. These are good. Hey, Magnus, thank you so much for that super chat. Really do appreciate it. Oh, man. Let's see here. Oh, you'll like this one. Andy Cowley is here, Ian. Andy Cowley. You know what that means? We get to sing for him. Mr. Cowley, welcome back to the show. Oh, Mr. Cowley loves his spaced out radio. Yeah, man. Hi, lovely Linda Bennett. Nikki, you know what? We'll bring you on here in a little bit, and then you can pull 3 oracle cards for us, for Ian and I, if you don't mind. We'll bring you on. I don't mind.
Told?
Pardon me, buddy?
We're going to get our futures told?
We're going to get our futures told. Just in case, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Oh, let's see here. Dave is so old, he was collecting tickets for the Ark. Wow.
That's a good one.
Wow. Gorgeous Luna Tina, how are you? Nice to see you. Fast Hemi, good to have you here. The gorgeous Jenny Metz is here. And boom to you, Bama. Thank you. Hold on, what's this one? Dave is so old he witnessed the panspermia of life on Earth. Yes, thank you. Thank you. My hair tells the story, one strand at a time.
I thought you didn't witness it. I thought you were the panspermia.
Maybe at one point, not right now.
I just thought it was you in the bathroom with a Playboy.
You in New York and your Larry Flint hustlers.
Yeah, there you go.
Every letter Ian has ever written in his life is, Dear Club Confidential, I swear this has never happened to me before.
Right. Never happened to me before. But I went blind, and I don't know why.
Marty Burbage, welcome. Oh, here's one. Dave is so hot, all the guys can do is talk about how old he is. Yes! Even you, little Marky Spender, with that cheesy sitting on your hairy stomach that you sent me a picture of. Terrible. Just about vomited my ice cream cake up there. Uh-huh. Oh, let's see here.
Had ice cream cake?
I had ice cream cake. Can't you tell? Cutting it, it's all over my hand there because this shit doesn't come off for at least a year now.
See, I had ice cream last year. This year we had cannoli cake.
Oh, very nice. I've never had a cannoli.
You've never had a cannoli?
No, I'm Canadian, man. You know how hard it is to find a cannoli around here?
God, you Canadians are so deprived.
You're deprived.
You're in New York?
I'm in New York, yeah. Well, actually, Long Island.
Okay.
You couldn't tell by the accent?
Yeah, no, I could. I figured you were from there, but you're there.
You weren't sure yet because I didn't use forget about it. I didn't use forget about it.
Okay, 1 sec here, guys, because we got about 40 seconds. Thank you, Gorgeous Jules. Dave is so old, when the ancient aliens arrived, he proclaimed, "You got people." Wow, that's awesome. Stunning Marie. Merle is here, everyone. Merle. There he is. Merle.
Hey, Merle.
All right, 20 seconds left. Big thank you to Corey, to Ed ×5, Fapster, or Catfish ×5, Chris, Cosmic Floor, Gorgeous Kira, Vinster, Patrick, Silent Videos, Magnus, and Jules for the super chats. Thank you for your love of this show. Thank you for your love of me. We're going to continue on here right now, everyone. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. My name is Dave Scott. I'm the birthday boy in control here. And every year we do a birthday show around here with Ian Holt. It's his birthday too, and a good friend of ours here on the show, and we're glad to have him here with us as well. Before we bring Ian on and our special guest, Nate Foot, otherwise known as Nate Rudd, legally, we think, because we're a conspiracy type show. We want to remind you that if you are missing portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives, but by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Look, we put Captain Shirk up in the video there. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Birthday show going on here as we're talking an open forum tonight. We got Ian Holt. We got myself, the birthday boys. Now, Ian is a 72 edition. I am a 73, but both of us still handsome. Still very, very handsome, you know, and faces only our mothers could love, to be honest. And joined with us here is Nate Foot. He's a Bigfoot researcher out of Washington State, and we're just kind of jibber-jabbering. Last half hour, we're talking a lot about UFOs, and are the public ready for it? I don't know if they are or not. We could say all the tough words that we want to say on that, but reality says we don't know the answer. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Dave!
Thanks,
the birthday
Dave.
show.
Yes, but before we start here, Ian, what'd you get for your birthday today?
Well, actually, what I got was a great dinner out. So my girlfriend's family took me out last night. We went to a big Chinese restaurant, and I got this great hand-painted Hank Aaron poster. So it was great.
Very nice.
What'd you get?
I got camouflage pants. I got a camouflage bag, so that way I can tie it to my side-by-side. And I got a fishing lure, even though I haven't been fishing in years. But that's okay. You can never have enough fishing gear. And I got a bottle of Fireball from my buddy Little Marky Spender. And a Bigfoot coloring book. I don't know where him and Little Tara Spender found that, but just the way it is. Oh, by the way, Marie's comment here in the chat room. Dave is so old, his memory is in black and white. Wow.
That's pretty good.
That isn't bad.
That's good.
I like Duke here. Dave is so old, when the Anunnaki arrived, he immediately charged them rent for being here. Steve Edmond. Dave is so old, Jesus the Carpenter built his house as his first gig.
The outhouse.
The outhouse, yes. My goodness. My goodness. All right. Let's see here. Merle says, Dave's so old, he still thinks about McDonald's pizza.
Wow.
Wow. That one hurts. That one hurts. Thanks, Merle. Appreciate that. That's why you're our friend, buddy. That's why you're our friend. Yeah, appreciate that. All right. Let's get on to it here. Let's talk a little Bigfoot here. Because everything is so focused on the UFO world, Nate, what's happening in Bigfoot land? Do we have any Sasquatch sightings going on here?
Oh, all the time, Dave. All the time. Yeah, it's people are seeing them constantly. You know, there's thousands and thousands coming in all across the U.S. and the world, probably. But yeah, no, it's constant. It really is.
How's your sightings gone so far this year? Or evidence? Have you found any?
You know, we haven't been out this year yet. We have a trip planned for this June. I think it's the second week of June to get out there. There's still snow in some of our areas, so I think I mentioned it before. We can't get in there. We've tried to go like Memorial Day the last couple of years and got stuck in the snow, and so we're itching to get out. We got some stuff planned for sure.
How do you plan a trip? You know what? I'll tell you what confuses me, man. I've spent the last 2 days in the forest. All right? Spent the last 2 days. Nothing. Not even a print. What am I looking for? What am I doing wrong, Nate Foote?
I don't think you're doing anything wrong. You know, it's you're not always going to find stuff. We don't always find stuff. You know, you can always look for the tree structures, the breaks, the prints. Prints are rare, actually. We don't even see a lot of prints, you know. So it's not as common as people think. The stuff that we get is mostly audio. We get a lot of screams, whoops, tree knocks, that kind of thing in the distance. And we got them pretty close too. But, you know, it's actually pretty rare to find a track. It really is. I think most of the guys that have been doing this for a while will tell you that. So I think that's what everyone kind of, when you talk about it, they think they can go out and just find tracks and follow them. And it's really not that easy.
All right. We're going to pause right there because Jenny has a question for you and I, Ian.
Okay.
What is your birthday wish? And because you're older than me, I will let you go first.
Well, my birthday wish is peace on earth and goodwill towards man.
You so liar.
No, I'm hoping that, you know, we can get back to our regular lives this year, because God knows we need it.
My birthday wish is to get to the United States. That is my wish. All right. Honestly, I have so much that I want to do down there. You know, whether it's just going for vacation or going to events or even traveling, you know, the 8-hour drive to see Nate there and go look for some Sasquatch near Spokane, Washington. That's what I want to do. I'm tired of feeling trapped. That's my big issue. You know, I mean, yes, we're allowed out. Yes, I spent the day out in nature yesterday and today, and it was fantastic. Fantastic. But, you know, my mom's health isn't doing too well, and I sure would like to be able to see her. You know? I mean, sure. I'm getting tired of that.
I mean, it's seeing family and friends that you can't get to. Getting my business back, getting back behind the camera and shooting film that we have 2 films we're dying to shoot, TV series, everything's on hold. So, I mean, my life, my bank account, everything is like, you know, and we just want to get back. I mean, either end it or get back to normal, one or the other.
Goddess Michelle.
Yeah.
Dave's so old, he's seen the first wheel made and said, that will never catch on. Thank you, Goddess. All right, Nate, how about for you? I know this isn't your birthday, but we're granting you a wish today because you're part of the team here.
You know, I got to say, Dave, I really agree with Ian. I just want to get back to normal, get our freedoms back where we don't have to wear these, you know, face diapers when you go out every day to the stores. And it's getting a little better here, but we're still a ways away. And, you know, I mean, like you said, it's just seeing your family. Our parents now are older. They've got the vaccine now, so apparently they're safe, I hope. But, you know, yeah, it's been a long time. You're hesitant to go around them. You know, you don't want to give them anything. And it's a scary thing for a lot of people, you know, especially in that vulnerable age group and stuff. So, you know, I think we're all just we're all wore out. I know I'm just mentally wore out. It's just it's been a tough road, and I got kids in school, and school hasn't been the same. It's been real tough.
Do you think it's going to be a big change? Like, I mean, people are talking about, like, now that they've been away from their life for so long, that when they step back into, like, all things, like, start to look differently. Like, they're not going to accept the same things. Like, they won't accept the fact that we won't tell the truth about Bigfoot, or we won't tell the truth about UFOs. They're not going to accept the fact that their wages are low and they can't get full-time work. They got to stop at 35 hours. People are going to be totally transformed and changed by this, like, kind of like, come back, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Kind of jaded, yeah. No, yeah. I could see a little. I've been an essential worker, so and that's great. I wouldn't want to be stuck at home. I can't work from home. I get too bored.
How can you be an essential worker, man? Actually, I guess you are. You sell beer. You sell beer. That is essential.
That is the most essential thing.
Yeah. And hey, I'm not complaining. Like I said, I feel blessed that I kept working the whole time. Thank God. That's a good deal. So, like I said, no complaints. But just the other stuff, getting back to a ball game, getting, like Dave said, going across the border, visiting your friends, visiting your family, doing some trips, and not having to social distance and wear a mask and all that. I think people are just wore out. That's just the way I feel.
House, get halfway to where you're going and go, oh, darn it, forgot my mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how you say, oh, darn it.
That was good. Yeah. That was a good.
That was a good catch, right?
Yes, very good catch. How do you, Ian, in New York? I'm curious, and I know I'm going to circle around here for a quick second here to the UFO front, and I want to get back to Bigfoot and other things like that too as we continue on. I'm curious for you, my friend. How have people in your circle in New York, Long Island, Manhattan, and that area have you been discussing the whole UFO thing, or is it even on the topic of discussion?
Well, it's like amongst my circle of friends, because we were all nuts and discussed it before the video came out. What's really, if you really want to know what everyone's discussing right now, is the Rob Zombie, Charles Manson documentary. That's what everyone's discussing. I mean, it's, we're like that heavy metal crowd, and, we're obsessed with the idea that, there was more to the Manson killings than we thought. So that's the big discussion. Most people are like, well, of course there were UFOs. Of course the government knew. They're like, it's not like for the people that were skeptics, this is a big thing. For us, it's like, well, yeah, it's like it's Tuesday for us. I mean, it's like we've been saying this for how long? Remember when they came out with a big report about where Roswell, where it was like the balloon, it was the weather balloon, and we were like, yeah, we knew you were going to say that. It's like, and everyone was like, see, it's not real. It's not real. We're like, no, we told you that we're going to find some reason that it's not real. It's like, for us, it's like, we know already.
Mm-hmm. But the main thing is, and Nate, how about for you in your circle? I know are people talking about the UFOs where you are?
A little bit. Not so much. I mean, most of my circle of friends are Sasquatch. I mean, it comes up, don't get me wrong. In fact, a lot of fellow researchers, I have, you guys might know of Nick Valente. He's got a theory that they are connected to UFOs. He's kind of been working on that for a while, and he's got some good stuff on that. But, like we said earlier, it is a possibility. We just don't know. There's so many unanswered questions. But it's on the top of my mind lately. It's, I don't discuss it a lot with people, but, yeah.
See, my circle, outside of me, nobody's talking about it. I don't know if that's a Canadian thing because the Canadian military, the Canadian government really hasn't had this discussion yet. You know, it's not like down there where every major outlet, including former presidents, are now talking about it. You know, so up here, it's a silent topic. Very few are actually discussing what we are talking about tonight. And it's sad because the funny part about it, I'll give you an example of how stupid things are up here. Today, CTV News, which is a Canadian television network, all right, had Christopher Mellon on the show. Did a 12-minute interview with him. In that 12 minutes, the journalist who was hosting it asked him a bunch of questions. How did you get involved with this? You know, what is it like? Are you chasing little green men? Like, out of their element. Out of their element. But in that 12 minutes across Canada, that reporter asked 0 questions about if Chris Mellon may know if the Canadian government is hiding any secrets. Or is this happening in Canada? How do you drop the ball like that? But that's what's happening up here.
Well, I mean, we get articles about, now about Obama asking if there were alien, bodies or any alien records, and they told him no. So if you're starting to believe the UFO, that these tic-tac objects are UFOs, well, that kills that they're aliens. Then what are they? Well, we don't know. I mean, like you actually hear people saying that it's ball lightning. And it's just the temperature of the sky, and you hear all the excuses already. So if you can't connect the object to an alien or a country or something, then people are like, oh, well, you could always write it off as not a big thing. Because when you bring up aliens, everyone goes, If you say it's a UFO, in fact, what's the new term?
UAP.
Yeah, UAP. Like, you can't even have UFO because UFO is too much associated.
It's passe.
And it's too much associated with an alien. You can't call it a flying saucer anymore, even though it still looks like the flying saucer, the first one we saw in the 50s, right? But no, you got to call it the UAB or whatever now because they're so scared of the alien idea. So you're just saying that this thing is there, but don't say it's alien.
Well, I mean, the point though is, how stupid do they think we are? And they must think we're really stupid, and we deserve to be treated this way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aren't we? For the most part.
Well, I don't think our crowd is. And I'm not saying the people listening to this show who have a vested interest in it, but the public in general, are they ready, Nate, for any type of disclosure, in your opinion?
Look, I mean, in this country, we're at a level where someone says, I want to talk about slavery. And everyone goes, okay. Who wants to talk about all the terrible things about slavery we shouldn't be teaching it? Well, then let's teach about the good things about slavery. And you're like, huh? What? This is the level of intelligence that we have here. That for the general public, these are our leaders saying this shit, this stuff. So, I mean, like, how much more mental capacity could they put towards the idea of traveling across 23 million light years?
Well, yeah, you kind of hit a point there, Ian. I think they want to dumb us down. Look at the media. They distract us constantly with stupid things all the time. Like Dave asked me earlier, do I talk about it? Well, I talk about it a little bit, but I'm in the grocery stores. I'm in the public all day long, and it never comes up. But you'd think, like I mentioned earlier, that it would be top of conversation with people, but they're just, I don't know if they're not interested or they're just out of touch or what, but I really truly think our government and the media, and they just try to dumb us down to keep us stupid.
I agree with that. they try to keep
Yeah.
broadband away from most rural areas. I mean, so you get all these people that joke about people who live in rural areas like they're not smart. Well, how can they be on top of stuff if they don't have broadband? You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, it's horrible.
if they keep us stupid, they can control us better too.
Right. And
the other.
maybe that's another reason they don't want you to know the truth about slavery, because that's what they did to the black people who were slaves. They kept them uneducated.
Exactly.
So in a way, I mean, they're trying to do the same thing to the general public.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave and I did shows about the Bilderberg Group and all these like shadowy organizations that are supposedly Illuminati and all of that. That supposedly want to keep us dumb, and distracted so they can steal all the money.
It is weird. It is weird that it is going down that road many times over. And we're going to have to see how this plays out, as we got about 3.5 minutes before we have to go to break at the top of the hour here on the birthday special for Ian and Dave. Ian Holt, myself, share the same birthday. Ian's a 72 edition, looking about ready to get up in the morning for his sausage and eggs at the breakfast buffet at about 4 in the morning. And, he could show his seniors discount there. Whereas me, I'm just, feeling ready to go. Feeling ready to go. My hair may be white, but at least it's not falling out. Ian's still got nice hair, too. Nate, best hair of the night. Nate Rudd is with us as well here on Spaced Out Radio.
Nate's hair just isn't nice. Nate's hair is perfect.
It is perfect. It is perfect. His wife definitely combed that before the show. We're just we're gonna be honest here. All right.
No one combs my hair but me. Stop it.
No, I doubt that. You're not getting away with that. The entire public will, when they see this video, will totally agree that your wife combed your hair tonight. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes here. There's a bunch of questions that are starting to come in from our audience. And I want to say we are going to get to audience questions in hour number 2. And what I am going to do for our audience, if you're in one of our chat rooms, I am going to put the invite link. I'm going to put the invite link in the chat room. So if you want to hop on and say hello to us, we're also waiting for Joe Diamond to get here. He's going to be here very, very soon, and he's going to be doing some magic tricks for us and scare the daylights out of it. But we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you guys, what you guys want to say, what you guys want to hear, and go from there. I think that's what's going to make it fun, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys. So what we're going to ask when we bring the audience in, because I don't do this often, I do not do this often, okay? One question, maybe a little banter, and then I'm sure there's going to be more people, because I never do this, and there might be a rush. I don't know. Might be only one person. Wouldn't it be creepy if, nobody showed up? It's like crickets. And we're all sitting in here. Yeah. But
the only people listening to ourselves.
Yes. I totally understand. I totally understand on what's going on there. And by the way, we'll continue. I'm getting insulted pretty good in the chat rooms tonight. Little Marky Spender. Dave is so old. He is the guy who hid all the chunks of wood they are finding on Oak Island. Wow. Wow. Let's see.
Good.
Marie.
Oh.
Dave is so old that Adam got jealous when he flirted with Eve. Wow.
That's not to mention what he
This
did.
is gross, Dave.
Yes. Joe, Dave is so old he remembers when the stump, a.k.a. Devil's Tower in Wyoming, was a tree.
Was it a volcano?
I think it was. I'm on Team Stump, man. Tree of Life. And we'll end it this hour with Marie again. Dave is so old that when Jesus said, "Let there be light," Dave turned on the switch. And on that note, we're going to head to break here at the top of the hour. It's the birthday show with Ian Holt, myself, our special guest, Nate Rudd. We're going to get you guys all involved here in Spaced Out Radio tonight because we never take calls. But tonight we'll bring you on in if you're in our chat room. Yeah. Joe Diamond's going to join us here momentarily as well. So let's make sure that we know what is going on here on Spaced Out Radio next with hour number 2 coming up right after this. All right, boys, we're clear. Bill Hauser, who's listening in, good friend, classy dude. He says, "Happy birthday, Dave and Ian Holt." Thank you, Bill Hauser. We love you, man.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, we love Bill Hauser around here. Class guy. Class guy.
Always class.
Yeah. He never forgets. You know, there's people who forget. Bill never forgets. He is always the first one. I love him.
He's like rock and roll. He never forgets.
You got that right. All right. You guys chat. I'm going to run off here, let my dogs out. And, Grave Sea Turtle. Hey, I can't join the virtual chat, but I do want to know, do you think that aliens are real? Very real, my friend. Very real.
Very real.
All right, you guys chat with the audience. There's a bunch of questions coming in. If you guys, if you look up right at the top right of your screen, you'll see a little box called comments.
Okay.
If you click on that, you'll be able to see the chat room.
I don't see it. I don't think I have it, Dave.
Or you're on your phone, though.
Yeah, that's probably the problem.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
maybe him, and then we can
Nate?
answer something.
Or,
I see.
No,
or Ian? Ian? Okay.
Yeah.
Be right back, guys.
All right.
So we started talking about this before. This is really driving me crazy. This Expedition Bigfoot, they have this new algorithm that takes all the recent sightings and puts it into a computer and tells them last year where Bigfoot was seen the most and where they should hunt. So after 2 seasons of hunting all around like middle of the country and towards the east, they decide that they need to go to the Pacific Northwest up near Washington because that's probably like the real Bigfoot country. And I'm like,
okay.
You took 2 seasons to figure that out?
With the algorithm?
With this computer algorithm that you program and you make a big deal about? I could have told you that before the freaking... You could have told them that.
No kidding.
Why did they ask you?
Ian, you know how those shows are. I mean,
They got
yeah. No, I'm sure they're having fun, but I honestly haven't seen the new season. I watched a little of the last season at my old house. I just moved. I don't have satellite or cable out here, so I haven't seen any of the new ones. So I really can't comment on it.
We need to get broadband to you.
Yeah, well, I can stream, but the new episodes aren't on streaming yet.
Well, they're on Discovery Plus.
Oh yeah, I don't have that, so I guess I'd have to get that. Yeah,
it's actually not a bad bargain. It's like $5.
They got some good content on there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to see.
I kind of took a break from TV. It's kind of been nice. I bought 10 acres, or we're on 10 acres of property now out in the country, and there's plenty to do here, keeping it up and stuff.
I can imagine.
So,
wow.
And just sitting out on the deck and watching the trees. And anyways, it's just been
that's getting back.
I've turned off the news. I've turned off the news. I don't watch that anymore. It's kind of a nice break.
Yeah, my girlfriend keeps wanting to get rid of my TV, but I got to keep up with it. That's what I do for a living. So I got to keep up.
Oh yeah, no, I get you. I understand, and I like to watch something once in a while too. But I'll tell you what, I don't as much as I used to. I'm more outside now, and just it's
you're probably healthier for it too.
What's that?
You're probably healthier for it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. The news, we all know what the news is like these days. I can't even take it anymore. So
I think people are getting depressed. I think these shootings that happen when people go crazy, they watch the news, they get depressed, and then they go out.
Yeah. No kidding. Like we said earlier, just the garbage that they throw at us constantly just gets old.
It's like mind control. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, And it's funny because, I'd much rather go out and go on a Bigfoot hunt than
hike.
Right.
I even enjoy going out and mowing the lawn with a cold beer. It takes about an hour, but gosh, it's just good to be outside.
Yeah, I mean, today especially was like 90 degrees out. It was beautiful.
Oh, wow. Was it up where you're at?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, like the summer's finally arrived.
That's awesome. We got a little rain and a little cold snap up here in Washington State, but it's looking real good next week. So,
someone goes, I was like, it's really funny. People don't realize like how much woods are out there. Like you get a guy from the East who's like trashing all these Bigfoot people. He was saying to me, come on, that's all bull about this Bigfoot. They go into the woods, they walk around for weeks looking around, and they never see nothing. I'm like, do you know how big this area, vast, we're talking about? Do you understand? Yeah. So, you pull up on the internet, you pull up the pictures, you show them these large tracts of trees that go on for miles and miles. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, so you walk around, you're going to see one. How much? I was like, do you know how, if this is like a picture from the air, a human being would be like a spot on that.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to be joined by Joe here in a couple of seconds here. I want to say a big hello to Johnny Half, Awaken Asleep Sheep. Welcome to the show, and I know there's a few more on here, and that we got to say hello. Alien Probe Master, and the rest of you, thank you so much for the awesome super chats. Ran out of time here. Nikki, I will get you the login here momentarily. Here we go, everyone, with hour 2.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Clemency. Clemency is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with the birthday show tonight, as it's my birthday. It's Ian Holt's birthday, and we always celebrate it together on our birthday. Ian's a 72 edition. I'm a 73. We have Nate Rudd, our Bigfoot guy, right here. And joining us is the man, the myth, and the legend himself. We met him a couple of months ago on this show, and he's become like an Insta friend of Spaced Out Radio, Joe Diamond.
Yes. Thanks for being here, or thanks for letting me be here. I appreciate it. I was literally giving a flashlight tour in a haunted mansion an hour away, and got in the car to drive here to be here to talk with all of you. So I'm excited.
We're glad you're here too, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, of course,
well,
of course.
Joe,
welcome.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to meet all of you.
Now,
I love the new setup. We didn't have the setup last time I was on.
No.
I've been watching all the new shows, and I was like, oh, I love it.
Yes. We also want to say hello to Eric in our chat room, Eric with a K. You know what, guys? We are his 4th favorite show in the world. We're number 4. Not number 1, not number 2, not number 3. We're number 4. Thank you, Eric with a K, for coming on in here and joining us in the chat room. And everybody on Twitter, we want to give a special hello on Twitter to a good friend of this show. She is a wonderful nurse. She has been working her butt off since COVID-19 hit, and she finally got a break over the last 8 months to finally join us here on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio for the show. Goddess Michelle, God bless you. Thank you for coming on in and being a part of this. That just means so much to me, and we love you and all of the nurses and doctors who are doing great work during this time. You are amazing, so thank you so much. Joe, before we get to our magic tricks from you, we're trying to get Nikki on here right now. Nikki, you got to connect your microphone. If not, you can use. Oh, there she is. Nikki here is going. Now she doesn't have a camera, but she is going to give us a tarot card reading for the next year for Ian and I. Hi, Nikki.
Oh boy.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Ah, good. Okay, well, it's not tarot. It's oracle cards.
All right.
And I usually do 3 per person. So you're going to hear me shuffle. Okay,
all right.
Who am I doing first?
You can do Ian first.
Okay.
Ian. Okay, this is for Ian. Gonna take a moment.
Shuffling the cards.
Yep, got to play with the cards. 2, and they want me to do 4 for Ian. Okay.
All right. Ian gets 4. It's because it's your birthday. They're giving you a special one, Ian.
Special treatment.
Yeah, I get told by Spirit how many cards to do, how many times I'm supposed to shuffle, all of that lovely little stuff. Okay, here we go. First one is inspiration. I'll read them off in a minute. Inspiration, wait for winter, solitude, and interesting, magical getaway. Okay, first one is inspiration. It says, be prepared as you'll soon receive a visit from the fairy of inspiration. In other words, look for something that's going to hit you. That's usually what that means. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. Second one is wait for winter. During the colder months, the fairy queen of winter will help you manifest your most heartfelt wishes as long as your intentions are for the highest good of all. In other words, you're going to have something happening during your winter time that's going to make you quite happy.
Well, that's good to hear.
Solitude. Think of being alone as meaning you are all one and in total harmony with everything. The greatest treasures are those that wait silently during your quiet times. Well, that's interesting. I have no comment on that.
No, that makes sense. It's like
Does it?
Oh yeah, it's like when I'm at like if I'm lying in bed late at night, the lights out, a little Pink Floyd going, and I'm at one with the universe and everything. That's when I get all my ideas for writing and everything else. So that makes sense to me.
Awesome. Okay. The fourth one is magical getaway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown. Yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. Oh, now that can be interesting.
Yeah, take a chance, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking.
I'm going to get this new idea in the winter, and I'm going to have to take a chance on it.
Yeah, come next year, watch out. Bang.
No, I like it. It's positive. It's not like it's all black and they're like, oh, well, just black this.
Well, when I made the offer to Dave and he said yes, I asked everybody's spirit guides and ancients, which means ancient families, of each one of you to come forward. And my apartment is filled.
Wow.
I have a lot of beings here. They're quiet. But if you ask me something, I'm sure we can get a question or two answered specifically for you.
Wow. Am I going to be able to get my movie made this year, get my business back running? That's what I hope. I want to put all my people back to work.
Okay, what's his movie made, guys? The answer is yes. Quote unquote, far coming. Now this is me asking them, what do you mean more? I want more specifics. I want to know what you mean by far coming, because with you guys, that can mean anything. Your timeline is different than our human timeline.
It could mean a long time coming because we've been sidelined.
3 years. I got the number 3 and then the word years. 3 years.
I've been sidelined for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, exactly 3 years. We were going into production 3 years ago. Something happened, but we couldn't, and we were going to go in 2 Marches ago, a year for last March, and then COVID hit, and we've been waiting ever since. So it has been 3 years. You're right on the mark.
Okay.
Well, that's great news.
That's kind of cool. It's confirmation for me.
When you have people that work for you and you know they're looking at you for their next gig, and pay them back, rent and all of that, you really want it to happen for them.
Boy, I can barely hear you. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can switch headphones. 1 second.
Oracle card reader Nikki is giving Ian a reading tonight.
That's better.
So,
I got you on my TV. Okay, so say that again.
I was like, it's great to hear that the movie will get off the ground this year, because when you have people working for you and they're looking at you for the next paycheck, and then after what they've been through with the old money on rent and everything, you want to make sure that everyone can get their money back, investors and everything. So it's great to hear that the movie will get made.
good for you.
Yes.
I want to see that movie, finally.
Yeah, I do too.
Definitely. I understand that one well.
Is there more for Ian there, Nikki?
Okay, so obviously there's a delay. Okay, so who's next in cards?
Me.
Nope, that's all I got. They went silent, and I'm seeing waves.
All right. Well, there you go, Ian. That's
Okay,
Nikki for
Dave.
you.
Okay.
Well, I thank you so much. That was great.
In other words, waving.
That was only my second reading ever.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, shuffling. All right, so I'm doing you, Dave?
Yes, please. Will I ever have as nice a hair as Nate Rudd? That's what I want to know.
Okay. Come on.
I'm teasing.
Oh, one more. Okay.
Teasing on that.
You don't want me to answer that. I know you're teasing. Okay. Am I done with Dave? Yes. Okay. 3 cards for you, Dave.
All right. I only get 3.
See, there is a delay. Okay. Are we sure for 3? Or are we going for 4? Oh, holy crap. Nope, I'm doing 5. Okay, I'm doing 5. Holy crap.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay, come together. Friendship. Transformation. Hidden depths. Tree wisdom. And I'm going to have to switch headphones again because that delay is just a little too much on the ears. Okay, come together says fairies like to be busy, and a group of them is showing you that many hands make light work. Working as a team helps to get the job done. Well, hello, you know that. With what you do, you know that. Next one is friendship. Fairies and humans alike need friends. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams. Somebody is telling me right now the information that I gave you earlier today, Dave.
Yes.
That applies. They're not saying how it applies, but they're using the word applies. Okay. Anything else you want to say with that, guys? No. Okay. Moving on. Transformation. This fairy tells you to surrender to a transformation in your life that's happening for your highest good. Embrace your transformation. The best is yet to come. Somebody's laughing. Oh. I'm not going to say on air who that is. They are wishing you a very happy birthday. They're saying, I love you. You know who this is. Something about a hug. I can't quite decipher what. They're showing me a symbol like two people hugging. So I'm assuming, based on what the image I just saw, they want to give you a giant hug and tell you that they love you and are wishing you a happy birthday. Well, that's interesting.
Very cool.
And you know who that is. Okay, moving on. Hidden depths. Something hidden is about to come to light, perhaps a secret or memory at the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we can become free. Hello. Somebody is showing me you as a child. Something that you wanted as... Okay, hang on a second. I got to ask them. Is that what you mean? That as a child, it was something Yes, that's what they mean. Okay, so something that you wanted as a child is going to take place, and it's something... Wow, something really big. Okay, are we done? Are we moving on?
I don't know.
No, we're not done. Okay, Ooh. What is it? Do you want to... Okay, they're showing... Okay, I have no idea what this means, Dave. They're showing me a stadium full of people. I don't know what that means to you, how it regards child, past, but that's what I'm being shown. It has to do with a stadium full of people. That's interesting. Anything else? Nope. Quote unquote, nope, that's it. And I know whose voice that is. Hello. I've talked to you before, haven't I? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that is your birthday present from that person. Hello. That was very sweet. The last one is tree wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
This tree dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. They're showing the card is showing a fairy with a flute in her hand, playing. And I'm not picking up anything, and I'm being told that we're, quote unquote, we're done. Okay, seriously? Yeah, they're saying they're done, and they're saying happy birthday again, and thank you, Dave. You're on the right track, quote unquote.
Wonderful. I'll let you in on a little secret here, and I've never really discussed this on this show. I think I may have mentioned it a couple of years ago. When I was working my own channeling sessions, okay, when I was really practicing my channeling, this is before Spaced Out Radio ever got involved. I actually channeled my son when he was in the womb of his mom. And he told me that he was going to piss me off very early in life, and that he and I would not be very close the first few years of his life. That was totally true. Okay? But we're getting closer. And it also showed me that he mentioned during this channeling session, while he was in the womb, that he was going to fulfill one of my 3 goals. Either A, become a professional hockey player, which I don't see him doing. B, become a fighter pilot, which may happen. Or C, become a rock star musician, which equals to the thousands of people. You said son, which equals to the thousands of people in the stands. And me as the father watching. So
Somebody's clapping right now. I'm seeing 2 sets of hands clapping. It's the last one.
Yeah, I figured that. Oh, yeah. I have already told his mother that I do plan on chasing groupies for my son. I absolutely plan on doing that.
I'm being shown a piano and a guitar.
Yes, that would make sense.
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of cool, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you for the birthday readings. We're going to let you go and tune back into the show. Nikki is a very big supporter of what we do. She is highly intuitive, and she is somebody who has, somebody that I go to behind the scenes in case I need some answers for anything. So Nikki is one of my good-kept secrets here. So I really appreciate you, Nikki, and thank you so much for everything you do for me.
You're very welcome. And I'm glad you've got SOR.
Thank you.
It's a big deal.
You take care.
Yeah.
Nikki.
Thanks. You too. Happy birthday, guys.
Thank you.
All right. We got 4 minutes left here as we're going to say goodnight to Nikki here. And Joe Diamond, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. It's starting to get everything together for some in-person shows. Gonna be starting those back up this summer, and gonna be back at the Dole Mansion in Crystal Lake doing 13-person mind reading shows in the fall.
Crystal Lake, New Jersey with Jason?
No, Crystal Lake, Illinois, right next to Woodstock, Illinois, where they filmed Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
Okay.
So the Groundhog Day. I know Freddy versus Jason, but if it was Jason versus Groundhog Day, the Groundhog Day would win.
Well, I would pay money to see Jason versus Bill Murray.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. Yeah, Friday the 13th versus Groundhog Day would be great. Oh, man. He keeps killing him, and Bill Murray keeps coming back to life.
Kill angry.
Groundhog Day.
Don't kill angry. Don't kill angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Joe Diamond, for people who may not remember, why don't you introduce yourself? Because we only got about 2.5 minutes here. And
yeah, I'll introduce myself so that way when we come back, we can do something. Is that good?
That would be perfect.
Is that good? It's fine. Okay. So long story short, my name is Joe Diamond. Some call me a mind reader. Some call me a magician. I am not a medium. I am a large. Extra large with the pandemic. And I've been fascinated by the strange and mysterious my entire life. And since the pandemic hit, I used to travel the country and America and beyond, doing live in-person shows for companies and different conferences, paranormal conferences, and so forth. And since the pandemic, I've taken my show to Zoom. So now I get to read minds of people all over the world during the show. Dave, you saw the show a couple weeks ago with your family, and you saw how weird it gets. And I want you to appreciate how hard it was for me to decide on what to do tonight after you've literally seen all my A material from the show. So it's like, oh, he's seen all that already. I have to bring him something new. So I got a couple fun things for you when we come back.
Well, Nate and I haven't seen anything. We're fresh.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so we might dip in then. We might dip.
There you go.
Oh, Joe is awesome. He is absolutely awesome. And Joe, trust me, I am still very, very upset about the 9 of clubs from the last time you were on the show. Yes.
Good. I'm glad. Okay. I'm glad.
Yes. So Joe did a card trick and took us down this long, deep road. And there's no way, because I didn't even mention my card that I had chosen. And all of a sudden, he pops out this 9 of clubs. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like, that is just ridiculous.
And again, you didn't write it down. You didn't take it out of a deck. It was just in your head, too. So
that is very true. Very true. Yeah, very true. It's gonna be trippy. So hey Joe, let's be honest with you. For our YouTube and Twitch viewers right now, not our radio stream, isn't Nate's hair just looking fantastic tonight?
On point.
Isn't that type?
On point.
I'm
getting mine cut tomorrow, so I want it to look like that.
Nate used to bench press like 480 pounds. This is why I'm messing with him, because he's on camera and not face to face right now. I'm not even exaggerating.
I don't know. If he reached through the screen right now and just like punched you, that would be the most amazing thing ever.
It would be. It would be. You know? All right. We only got about 10 seconds here. We are joined by Nate Rudd, one of our best and favorite Bigfoot researchers here on the show. We have Joe Diamond, the magician and man of mystery, joining us. He's going to take us through some tricks coming up here. And, of course, Ian Holt, my birthday brother, and me celebrating our birthdays tonight. We do it annually. A little bit of a different show here that we do on Spaced Out Radio for the birthday night. But we are loving it, we are appreciating it, and we appreciate each and every one of you listening in and in our chat audience. We'll be back with Spaced Out Radio right after this. All right, guys, we're clear.
Yeah, I've been wearing the shirt all dang day, so I'm going to go change it real quick, and then I'll be back.
All right.
So, pardon me for one
Sounds
moment.
good, man.
Continuity. What happens to continuity?
I have one that looks just like this, so I could do that.
One of these guys is doing his own thing.
Issue.
All right.
Dave, you signed the checks. Is continuity an issue?
You got that. No, you go right ahead, buddy. You change it to whatever you want. You know? How you doing, Nate? You're just kind of sitting
Doing
back.
great.
Are you having fun?
Oh, absolutely. Can't wait to see Joe Diamond's card tricks and stuff.
I know. Guy is fucking trippy. He really
I'm
is.
just happy to be,
Nikki
happy to be here.
What was that, Nate?
Oh, I said I'm just happy to be here on your birthday, be a part of it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
appreciate
man.
you asking me.
Yeah. Hey, Derek, tired of ramen. Happy birthday to Woo. Appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. Derek is a guy where literally he's a woo junkie. He will fill up his woo needle and inject it into his arm. That's how much woo he enjoys. He really does.
We get along good then.
Oh yeah. Derek's one of our Twitter crowd. I love the guy. He's amazing on there. Really is. And thank you so much, Derek. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Before we go any further and any interruptions, we've had a ton, probably the most people super chatting ever tonight. Thank you to Corey, to Ed, to Fapster, Catfish times 5, Chris, Cosmic Fleur, the gorgeous Kira, Vinster, Patrick, that's Catfish again, Silent Videos, Catfish, Magnus times 2, Gorgeous Jules, Joshua, Alien, Probe Master, who just lubed a $5 super chat in there, Cedric, Andrew, Gorgeous Marie, and a hat trick for Magnus. So thank you so much for the love and support. Really do appreciate it. Thank you to all of our new subscribers, but most importantly, thank you to each and every one of you who has tuned on into this show tonight. I know it's different than what we normally do, and I'm sure there's going to be critics of it. I don't care. It's my birthday show, and I'm allowed to do what I want. And it's Ian's birthday show, so he's allowed to do what he wants to. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. This is once a year. We have some fun here on the air, and Ian brings his sultry good looks to us, and that's all that really matters. So, yeah, that's where we are. Hey, Olin, how you doing, man? VPXM, welcome to the show, man. Let's see here. I also want to give a big shout out to Ben from UFO Garage. And that, by the way, that's a channel that all of you need to subscribe to. Ben and Joe are two of the funniest dudes out there, and it's all in good humor. They're not poking fun at people. They're not angry at the drop of a cap. They're just great dudes who are trying their hardest to build their YouTube channel. I am a massive supporter of them. So if you could support their show or their YouTube channel, along with Geraldine Orozco, if you could support hers as well, just click on that subscribe button there. And, of course, to Joe Diamond Live as well. The reason why, guys, is the guys from UFO Garage and Geraldine are combining to build us a brand new website. I am terrible at websites, And I have seen the background footage of this. It's looking really, really good. It's looking very professional. And the best way that we can say thank you is to have all of you go over to UFO Garage, hit that subscribe button, for Geraldine Orozco as well. And, of course, our man Joe Diamond here for coming on in and helping us. Make sure you hit subscribe to his channel as well. We would appreciate that. Thank you, gorgeous Teresa, for that awesome super chat. Really do appreciate the love and all your support over the years of Spaced Out Radio. You are one of the best. You are a diamond to us, my friend. A diamond to us. Yes. No pun intended, Joe Diamond.
That's okay.
Yes.
Diamonds are our girl's best friend, so it's okay.
Yeah. Teresa has actually traveled to Washington State and to Northern California to hear me speak at conferences. She's awesome. She's awesome. Love her. We've got about 25 seconds here. VPXM, thank you so much for that super chat. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. Here we go. 10 seconds, everyone. 10 seconds. And, of course, if you haven't subscribed to Duke's World Bigfoot Radio, get your ass on that subscribe button and hit that as well. Here we go. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Let's give a big shout out to everybody listening in on our Spreaker channel. We got Bill WD40, Jeff Elder, the gorgeous Ronnie, the Desert Clam, Eric with a K. Remember, we are his fourth favorite show, people. We're number 4. Catalina, thank you. Jeff goes on to say, Dave is so old, he fapped to the red swimsuit poster of Farrah Fawcett in his bedroom. Thank you. I appreciate that. He also follows up saying, Dave is so old, his high school class ring was a mood ring. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Joe Diamond, everyone. He's here to entertain everybody. Now, Joe, we got a little bit of a conundrum here, so I'm going to put the onus on your big shoulders here. Okay? The reason why is our YouTube and Twitch audience will be able to watch you live.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But our radio audience is not going to be able to see what you are doing here.
Sure.
So
sure.
I'm gonna need your help.
All of you can keep us honest. All of you can watch and keep me honest. When I say if I'm gonna write something down and keep it in frame, you can keep that verified. Also, why not? How about we give everyone a shot? And this will be people who are listening on the radio, or even people watching or listening to this after the fact. So we'll give this a shot. I'll kind of demonstrate a little bit about how this mind reading stuff works. And I do this in my virtual shows, which I'm doing my last one of the season this Wednesday at 7:30 Central. If you look me up on social media or check my website, joediamondlife.com, you can find out about that. So, Dave, you might remember some of this from the show, so don't spoil it. You've seen the show, so you know what to expect. But that said, I didn't tell you anything about what we're doing tonight. We didn't prearrange anything. Nate and Ian, this is the first time we're talking. None of you have any idea what you're in store for. So let's do this with everyone watching. Here's how we'll do it. I am going to think of a memory from my life. I'm going to look into my webcam. I will project it out through the interwebs, through StreamYard, through Twitch, through YouTube, through the radio waves. We'll see how many of the listeners and all of you here receive the psychic transmission. Don't shout your answers out loud. The three of you that's on this call. everyone else, don't put anything in the chat yet because I don't want you to influence other people. And don't think about it too long. Go with whatever pops in your mind, whatever feels right. So first off, we all need to get on the same psychic wavelength. So everyone take a deep breath and exhale. Very good. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, get in your mind a number from 1 to 10. Lock it in your mind. Don't change it. Remember that number. We'll do it again. And again, we'll keep it simple. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, get in your mind a direction on a compass. Lock it in your mind. Don't change it. Remember that direction. All right. This last one's going to be the most difficult. This time, I'm going to try and send all of you 2 simple geometric shapes, one inside the other, like a square inside something else. Don't pick square. I just said that. Take another deep breath. Exhale. Remember those 2 shapes. I'm curious to see how this worked, and now is when people can start telling us what worked in the chat. I was actually sending out the memory of my first day of school, and I couldn't find geometry class. So I asked someone where it was, and they said it was on the north side of the building. So if anyone got north, let us know in the chat. Let us know. I think, Dave, did you get north?
North.
You got it? Okay. How about Nate and Ian? Did either of you get north?
North.
Okay, so 2 out of 3, not bad so far. Okay, I got to the classroom.
What did Nate get?
I got east.
You got east? Okay, that's fine. When I got to the classroom, I looked around, and there were 7 students. So you can let us know in the chat and if you got 7. And then also on the chalkboard, the teacher had drawn a triangle and a circle. So I'm curious if anyone got either of those. Nate, did you get both of those? You got both. Oh, and that's the most difficult one, too. Awesome. Perfect. So people in the chat, you can let us know if you were close, if you were way off. And that's a big part of what it is, having a thought in your mind and sending it. And also people being open to receiving those thoughts. It's just like having a conversation or even a phone conversation. Like, let's say we were all talking on the phone. All of a sudden, the call dropped. If we both tried to call each other at the same time, no connection would be made. If we both sat around waiting for the other person to call, no connection would be made. So that's what this is. I'm merely making the call, and you're choosing to pick up. So that's ultimately what this is about. So with all that in mind, I'm going to go for something with you, Dave. Do you have a pen and paper handy?
I do.
All right. I didn't have you draw anything last time, I don't believe. We did stuff with numbers last time, right? I want you to draw a simple picture, something you can hold up to the camera and recognize. You're completely out of frame, so there's no way we can see like how your pen's moving or anything like that. We'll come to that in a moment. In the meantime, while Dave is doing that, Nate, I'm going to write something down for you. We'll come back to Dave's drawing in a moment. Nate, what is your star sign, your zodiac?
Oh, it's Leo.
You're Leo, okay. And what is your favorite pizza topping?
Boy, probably black olives.
Perfect. I love black olives too. That gives me just enough to be able to kind of psychoanalyze you and actually get a read on you and what decisions you're going to make before you make it. All right. I wrote this down on one of my business cards, a small little message. I will keep this in frame. For all the listeners, you'll see my website just there. But I'm going to leave this in frame. I'll show you what's on the other side in a moment, Nate. Nate, I want you to imagine that in front of you is a small bag of M&Ms. And there are 3 colors, okay? And you can have your eyes open for this. But there's 3 colors. You dump them out. There's only 3 M&Ms left. There's a red one. There's a blue one. And a green one, kind of like our name tag. So red, blue, and green. We're going to get rid of 2 of these, and we're going to eat one of them. So here's how this is going to work. With your right hand, I want you to imagine you can reach down and pick up one of those M&Ms. And just tell us the color as you pick it up.
Blue.
Okay, now you're going to eat that M&M. And again, I'm keeping this in frame. So again, imagine you can eat that M&M. Just pop it in your mouth. That imaginary blue M&M in your mouth. Pop it in.
Yeah.
Okay? Yep, there you go. You did it. Tell me, is it the plain milk chocolate kind or is it the kind that has nuts?
It's the milk chocolate.
So the blue M&M does not have nuts. And that's perfect because I wrote down the blue M&M does not have nuts.
That's amazing. Very cool.
There you go. All right, I'm going to give this a shot. It's been a long day for me. Whether this works or not, we'll close this out with Ian. Dave, you've made. I assume you're done with your drawing now, right?
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to make the drawing again, but this time in your mind. So I need you to look right at your camera for me, Dave. And everyone can see there's no. Can you see okay if you take your glasses off, by the way? Oh, perfect. Okay. I want you to imagine, did you ever see the TV show House where they had like the big clear chalkboard that they wrote on and you could see through it and everything? I want you to imagine you're doing that with the drawing. Oh, man. Okay. I probably should have warmed up a bit more, but it's your birthday. I'm going to go for it. Yeah, I'm going to. I don't know what this is. I'm only getting kind of a sense. I don't even know. I don't even know the direction this would go. I'll tell you what. Close your eyes for just a moment, Dave, because I'm actually going to show everyone. This isn't a lot. I didn't get a lot. I might even be holding it the wrong way. I'm not even sure because it is reversed on camera and stuff. I'm going to turn it away now. Dave, I didn't get a lot. It's not. I'll be honest. Actually, open your eyes. Let me see if I can get any more detail. That's literally all I'm getting, but I think it might be enough, and I think it'll make more sense once we see yours. Can you hold your drawing up to the camera, and when we can all see yours,
Can I put my glasses back on?
Yeah, put your glasses back on. Yeah, Nathan has already seen mine. Again, I don't know how we did on this. I genuinely don't know. That's kind of the fun of this, is we get to see where it goes. So pull your drawing up and hold it up to the camera, and let's. Okay, so I got kind of a bit of the shape there, the point and the head and everything. Okay, so I didn't get the eyes or the mouth. That said, you drew an alien, and this is a crop circle being formed right now in your honor. How about that?
I love it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I did get the general shape. Again, drawings are like the hardest thing for me. So thank you for giving me a shot for doing that, Dave. You did great. That said, we're going to do one more game with Ian.
Okay.
Ian, do you play cards at all?
Yeah, I play a little bit of cards.
Play a little bit of cards? Oh, perfect. You only play a little bit. That's great. Because I only brought with a little bit of cards. They are literally teeny tiny. So I'm going to put them in this purse. I'll leave the purse in frame because there's something else in here for your birthday game. It's these. They're invisible dice. But here's the thing. They're only invisible to dirty old perverts.
Oh, then
you can see them, right?
David, I see them fine.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Here's a spoiler, Ian. Even everyone watching on the stream, they can't see them either. The great thing with invisible dice is you can never lose with them. I'll prove it. Watch. I'll shake, blow, roll. It's a 7. I'm a natural and a winner. I'll pick them up and roll again. 11. I'm another natural, another winner. The great thing about these invisible dice, Ian, is I can actually hand them to you through the screen. In fact, here, we'll do it this way. Here, reach off to the side. Yeah, go off to the side. Yeah. There you go. Did you grab them?
Yep, got
them. Okay, got them. Perfect. Okay. Shake up those 2 invisible dice. Roll them in front of you, and let's see what you rolled. Oh, bummer, Snake Eyes, you lost.
I don't know. I saw a 7.
Yo, you saw a 7. Okay, well, Here's the thing. The idea is not to roll a 7 for this, because I rolled I've got 2 cards turned over in here. The only hint I'll give you is that one is a spade and one is a diamond. You're going to give them one more roll, pick them up. Keep in mind, you can roll whatever you want on a die for this, okay?
Okay.
So get ready, shake them, roll them. It doesn't have to be a 7. You can roll whatever you want, okay? And then toss them out. What did you roll?
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Now, is that a hard 8 or a soft 8? Is that 2 4s or like a 2 and a 6? 2 4s. 2 4s. Do you want to maybe flip them around so it's a 2 and a 6, or do you like 2 4s?
I like 2 4s.
You like 2 4s.
Very balanced.
Very balanced. Perfect. Because as I said, I have 2 cards turned over in this miniature baby deck of cards. Okay, and I'm keeping them in frame. I'm going to bring them in close so the lighting adjusts. As I go through, you can see there is not just one, but 2 turned over cards in this mini deck. You said 2 4s, and the cards turned over.
Get out of here. Woo!
Are the 2 4s, the 4 of diamonds, and the 4 of spades. Ian, you won the game, which means you may keep the invisible dice as a birthday gift.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I'm heading to Vegas.
Yes, go to Vegas. Put it all on black. Do it all.
I'm taking a private jet. You want to come?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I did a gig for a company that does private jets, and they let me do total Instagram influencer photos in there. It was a lot of fun. So that's the kind of stuff I do. I'm taking a break for the summer season after this Wednesday. But if anyone wants to come see it, go to joediamondlive.com/Zoom. Tickets are just $25 per household. You can watch from anywhere in the world. And Dave, you can verify when I say it gets even weirder in the show.
It's fantastic. Joe Diamond,
thank you,
buddy.
Thank you,
Thanks
Joe.
so much. Thank you so much for having me, both of you. Appreciate it. I need to make sure my wife is in bed because she needs to go back to work tomorrow after a mini vacation with her friends. So I'm going to go take care of her and rub her feet till she falls asleep.
Thank you. JoeDiamondLive.com.
Thank you. And when I see each of you in person, you get birthday foot rubs from me too, okay?
All right, beautiful.
Now you're talking.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Thanks,
happy
Joe.
birthday.
Thank you, Joe.
Happy early and late birthday to you. Thanks so much.
Take care, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Diamond, everyone. JoeDiamondLive.com. Dude, I just about tripped when he flipped over those 2 4s.
I know, and he wanted me to take the 2 and the 6, the 2 and the 4, and I was like, no. I saw.
Check this out, guys. It's the triangle, the circle, and the 7. See that?
Yeah.
That's
that's
weird.
nuts.
Wow.
That is weird. Totally weird. You know, what we're going to do now is for our audience that is in our YouTube chat room, our Twitch chat room, all right, we're going to put up a little StreamYard connection. So if you want to come on in, say hello, you have any questions for Ian, Nate, or myself, please feel free to ask. We really do appreciate that. We really do. And if you want to come on in, no topic is unbearable. We've got 1 hour plus to go here on the birthday show. And we really appreciate each and every one of you coming on in and listening on in. Boy, Joe Diamond, that dude is good.
Yeah, he is really good.
He is really good. He just trips me out, man.
Oh, I got to see the show. I'm going to watch.
Oh yeah. It's I took in his full show a couple of weeks ago, and I was just absolutely dumbfounded by it. You know, I mean, it was like my son was, and I took it in, and he was just like, "Whoa, Dad, is this real?" And I'm like, "That's what magic is, boy. That's what magic is." So I don't even know.
Yeah. Nate.
Yeah.
Why not take Joe on a Bigfoot hunt and see if he can psychically reach the Sasquatch?
That's a great idea. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, if he could send out these messages, if we're really receiving it.
I'm open to trying anything.
That might work. Put him on a blind somewhere up in a tree and have him send it right out.
It's a great idea. I love it.
What do you think, Dave?
I say we do it. It doesn't hurt. I mean, you never know. I mean, there's enough woo in this world where all of a sudden it will pop on. All right.
People get those messages, psychic messages. So.
All right. We're going to bring in Vinster here. I recognize that beanie from everywhere. This is one of our great listeners, great supporters of the show. Vince, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Dave. Man, that was crazy.
Thank you.
I had to write it all down just to follow it, but I had 3 north. Everything.
That was nuts. Now, Vince here has a great show with Rye Guy called Gringo Beans on YouTube. These guys are really creative, really funny. I want to say everybody on our staff here loves you guys, and you guys are quite funny and hilarious. And Vin, you've been a supporter here for a number of months, and probably the first of only tonight's phone calls for 2021. You do realize that.
Okay, well, that was a tough act to follow. Like after the magic trick, like I think I got one. Like here's my magic trick. See that?
Oh wow!
See that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got, Dave.
Wow, that's more than what I have, my friend. More than what I have.
No, but really, I just wanted to tell you happy birthday, and that your show is so cool. Like, it reminds me a lot of like the TV show Cheers. Like especially the chat room. Like I just like after a long day, I come home and fire up the iPad, and everybody's there. And everybody knows each other and stuff. So I just wanted to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
I know there's probably people. You don't have a lot of time, so I just wanted to say that. And great guests tonight, Nate Rudd and Ian Holt. You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
And same with that magic trick was crazy too. So I just wanted to say that and get out.
Hey, I appreciate you. What's your favorite topic that we discuss here, man?
Geez, my favorite topic is probably UFOs. Because I've seen them. I've seen some weird stuff, and I'm actually like a pretty big skeptic, and I don't believe a lot of what I hear, but I know what I've seen, and so that's why I'm still like wondering like, well, what did I see, stuff like that, so probably UFOs.
I love UFOs. Love UFOs. Vin, I want to say thank you for coming on in, and thank you for, honestly, I will say this, between you, Fap, and Rye, and Fast Hemi, the guys in our YouTube chat, you guys make me laugh every night, and there are so many times when I'm trying to be serious, and I can't because you guys are cracking me up in the chat room, and I'm trying really hard to be professional with my guests, but trust me, after the show, I die laughing, and I appreciate that you bring some humor to the chat room and everything like that, and you mean a lot. Thank you so much for being a part of the family, man.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, I've actually gone back and watched a couple of the shows and read the chats, and when I'm reading what I wrote, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I actually said that.
Oh yeah, that's you. Yeah. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
It is unpredictable.
Unpredictable, but yeah, thanks, Dave. Happy birthday, man. Happy
you.
birthday too, Ian.
Thank you.
And thank you, Nate.
Good to see you, buddy.
See you, Vin.
Take care, guys.
Love Vinster. We got 2.5 minutes. Let's go to Chris Mo here. Now, I believe Chris Mo is in Austria. He tunes in from Austria. Am I right on the Austria?
Wow.
Oh yeah, you're sure right.
Hi, Chris.
8:00 in the morning.
Very nice.
And I'm actually in the car. I prepared the mic and everything at home. But as it is, I have to bring the kids to school,
I understand. That's a great beard you got there, Chris Mo.
Oh, yeah, I shaped it for you.
I appreciate that.
Shaped it up.
I appreciate that. Well, we appreciate
it's nice being on the show. It's always fun in the chat room. All the snarkers and fans of yours. It's always nice hanging out. I want to say happy birthday, Dave, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah. And you know what? The one thing I love about you and many other people who listen to this show is, like, a lot of times as a host, you get tunnel vision. That you think the people are all around you, that they're in your province or they're in the States or wherever. But we really forget how open the internet is and broadcasting is. So the fact that, we have you in Austria, we have people in New Zealand, in Australia who are tuning in Malaysia, Singapore. We have people in India who tune in, all over the United Kingdom, and to have you in Austria representing your country, listening to us almost on a daily basis, man, we really appreciate it. You want to give your kids a shout out? Are they in the car?
Oh, no, they're not in the car. I dropped them off already.
Oh.
Maybe next time.
For sure. For sure we could do that.
Yeah.
For sure we can. What's your
The
favorite
Woo
subject?
Train is global. The Woo Train rides all around the world every day.
I
From
appreciate
dusk
that.
till dawn.
I appreciate that. See, we got the Woo Train happening through Austria right now, and we appreciate that. Chris Mo, what's your favorite topic that we discuss?
Definitely UFOs. My favorite topic is Carl, actually.
Oh, yeah?
He came to visit me one day, and it was fun. I shouted like an opera singer, and still want to find out which tune or which frequency that is, so you can break out of dreams.
I hear you.
I don't know. I don't want to shout and make noises now, but
it's a big deal. They have some of the best there.
All right, gentlemen, you hold on because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. 2 hours down into the birthday show. Ian Holt, Nate Rudd, myself. We're hanging on out for the birthday show. Chris Mose from Austria here. Uncle Duke is next on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear. Jennifer Rebecca, welcome to the chat room. And SOR Global, that's worldwide. SOR Global Worldwide. That's going to be a t-shirt next. Let's bring in Duke. Hey, Uncle Duke.
it's crazy how easy it is to drop in here.
Oh, you guys chat away. I'll be right back.
I do.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. Love your hat.
Oh, yeah, you got to see my my buddy up there on the wall behind me. There you go. I can relate to him for some strange reason.
I got one for you. Groovy. Right? Groovy.
Yeah, my favorite one-liner from the TV series is where he was trying to blast a demon with his boomstick and it kept vanishing. And he finally came up with a line, shoot first, ask questions, never.
What's the poster, Duke? I can't see it. What is it?
Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got you. I follow you.
Yeah, everybody's got to have a spirit animal.
Yeah. How's it going? You getting ready for your big expedition up there, Duke?
Oh, which one? We got a major one coming up every month here all summer long, and then minor pops into the wilderness on weekends to do more filming.
So I'll have another chance to go with you then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, July, William Lunsford and Christy Sci-Fi are supposed to be here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, keep me in the loop on those dates and stuff, and I'll definitely try to make it up there for one or over there. That'd be great. I'd love to come. I really would.
Yeah, it's fun. We got
well, I kind of have an
Joker squatch that like to mess around to the camp and
nice
cause trouble for people.
Well, I kind of have an excuse, Duke. My daughter's going to the U of M over there too, so I'll probably be over there quite a bit. So
there you go. Right on.
I'll look you up when I get over there.
As far as that goes, there's local stuff we can do too. We can go over to Blue Mountain. That's just on the other side of the valley.
Okay.
7 miles away. Or you can go up to my spot on the mountain behind me here. It's like 2 miles away.
Nice.
Don't have to go very far.
Yeah, I'd be up for any of that. For sure. So what's new?
For me, my life is like an episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker, okay? So
hey, I like that.
Somebody actually brought my attention to that show again about a month ago, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I used to love that when I was a kid, Darren McGavin in 1972. And they got all of them up on YouTube. So I went and watched a couple of them, and then like about halfway through the second one, I went, oh, holy crap, I am this character. What the bleep happened with my freaking life?
That's funny. It brings back memories watching those, doesn't it?
Oh, I love that. One of the great all-time show themes ever.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That music, the opener music and stuff. Yeah. So my mom used to make me go to bed, 8 o'clock or something, and my dad used to sneak me out of bed to watch it with him. So that's kind of my memory.
I will never forget when after one season, they canceled that show. I've never been more angry ever.
Me too. What a mistake that was.
It was totally awesome. Well, I mean, keep in mind their track record. They canceled the original Star Trek and everything, too.
They canceled the original Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, Nielsen family are clearly idiots that drink out of the dog bowl and eat Tide Pods, and, that's where they're getting their cues from.
Yeah, well, they actually never heard of the 18 to 35 audience back then, I guess.
Yeah, apparently they don't buy anything. They're not important.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was so many great. Do you remember Project Blue Book?
Mm-hmm.
It was another great show that lasted a season.
What was that, Ian? Say that again.
Remember, like in the early '80s, there was a show called Project Blue Book.
Gosh, it rings a bell, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was like the early version of the X-Files. Only it was two guys from the Navy that went around investigating UFOs.
Okay.
And that was and it was just like the X-Files. They would find something weird, and it was scary, and then they canceled it.
Yeah, that's no good.
I was terrified.
Guys.
Okay.
Just 1 minute.
I was terrified to watch television because any show I liked, canceled. Planet of the Apes, canceled.
Planet of the Apes always scared the daylights out of me.
The series, canceled.
V was awesome.
Any show that I liked, they canceled. So I just stopped watching.
Hey, Willie, thank you in Spreaker chat for your kind happy birthday wishes. Appreciate that. And let's see, who else we got here? I got to get caught up here. I think we're good. Hey, how you doing, Duke?
Doing good, Dave. Just glad I could stop in a little bit and say happy birthday to you.
We love you, man. We friggin' love you around here.
Yeah, a lot of my previous guests really like your show, and some of them have been on it already, and I think some more are going to be on there. And your audience can enjoy them too, because there's some amazing freaking people.
Yep, I agree. And we thank you for that, man. We thank you for that.
Here to help, brother.
All right, we got about 1 minute here, guys. 1 minute. Let's see here. This has been cool tonight. Ian, this is a good show for our birthday, man.
It always is.
I know. Let's see here. Actually, we only got about 15 seconds.
We're like Rocky and Adrian. I got gaps, you got gaps. Together we fill gaps.
You got that right. 10 seconds. Thank you to all the super chatters tonight. Really do appreciate that. Thank you to everyone coming on in. We appreciate it. Here we go with the third hour.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet that we call Earth. Big thank you to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Clemency. Clemency is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. It's going to have a new look very soon, but we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with the birthday show tonight. Myself and our good friend Ian Holt. Him and I share the same birthday, and every year we have a tradition of doing a birthday show. No script, no nothing. Everything's on board. Ian is a 72 edition. I'm a 73. Next year, it's a big 5-0 for him. Well, I'm pointing at him and calling him old at that point. We're also joined by one of my top Bigfoot hunters of this show, Nate Rudd. And from World Bigfoot Radio, we have Big Bad Duke here, who, Duke, I'm going to say this, man, and I know I say it a lot on the show, but, you have brought a lot of attention to Spaced Out Radio over the last few months. I don't know what we did to deserve that, but you've really opened us up to a whole new community, a larger community than what I thought. And I just want to say I really do appreciate you doing that for us, man. Thank you so much, because we have met some great people because of you and Nate.
Well, you're very welcome, Dave, and I'm glad I could help, and there needs to be more of the different communities working together. The ghost hunter community and the UFO community and the Bigfoot community should be kind of like trying to work together a little bit, in my opinion, because everything that's going on is just a piece of the bigger puzzle. So being that you not only are like the Art Bell of the 21st century, but also your show is open-minded enough that anybody can bring what they've got to the table and talk about it, I think it's a great place for people to, come on, talk about what's happened to them. And, in the case of a lot of my guests, they got the receipts. They've got all the video and picture to prove it. So it isn't just blah, blah, blah. They can back up everything they're saying. So, I appreciate the fact that you've got this platform and you're willing to take a chance on some of the people I've been throwing in your direction because, they're amazing. They blow me away. And I'm not that easy to impress. I'm older than dirt. There's a lot of really high-quality dirt that's newer than me. I know everybody's picking on Dave and Chad on how old he is and stuff. And I was even saying, when the Anunnaki came to Earth, Dave made them pay rent. But the only reason I know that is because I was already here. When I was a kid, the ground was still hot. So anyway, it's just great to be able to team up with a total professional like Dave and try and help each other's communities out. And I know a lot of the people that are fans of my show really enjoy your show too, Dave, just because of the things that I pointed out. And they get exposed to things that I don't normally cover on my show, and you cover everything. So you have a much wider latitude than I do, being that the name of my show has something to do with Bigfoot. I kind of can't get away with as much stuff as you can. But love your show. As you know, I hang out and chat, and just practically every night if I get a chance to it. I'm not busy. I'm here.
Well, we appreciate you, my friend, and Ian, to get you to understand Duke, he has one of the top Bigfoot shows on YouTube. How many subscribers you got now, Duke?
I think I'm around 17,000. I'd have to look again.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful. And hopefully we have helped a little bit in helping that grow as well. Oh, yeah. Yes, you have.
Let's keep helping each other. And then when we finally get to meet, we'll owe each other lots of beers.
Dave, I've enjoyed, Duke, I've enjoyed your show for years. I'm a big fan of yours, too.
Thanks, Nate.
Just throw that out there, yeah.
Honestly, all the people, if I had everybody in the world listening to my show, I wouldn't be as happy as if I had all of the main people in the Bigfoot world listening to my show. Because I want everybody to get up to speed and be on the same damn page so we can finish up this whole project. That's where I'm at.
Do you think there will come a day, Duke, when Bigfoot is proven of its existence, or is this going to be one of those mysteries where 100 years from now, when we're all in the ground, that there's going to be our great-grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren who are still looking for this creature, trying to figure out what it is?
That's a two-part question. First of all, there's a bunch of researchers out there that don't update, don't look at anything new, and are in essence blind dogs chasing each other's tails in a circle forever. And for more reference to them, go watch How to Hunt. Steve mentions them quite frequently. Is the government going to ever come right out and say Bigfoot's real? Hell no. They'll disclose aliens and UFOs way before they'll ever do that. I do not believe that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is we're going to pour so much evidence out there onto the free market of opinions where they can't actually hide it, and people are going to be exposed to it, and we're not going to need the government's opinion one way or the other, because everybody's just going to go, yeah, it's real. We don't care what you think.
Mm-hmm. Why, though? Why would the government cover this up?
Because they can't, because it does not agree with their agenda and their overall dictum that they're trying to push on the entire world of how reality is.
It's a much bigger conspiracy than we can even imagine. I mean, the fact that Göbekli Tepe exists and throws their entire timeline of the history of man into turmoil.
Well, they already admitted that's 12,000 years old, so that's back before the right around or just before the time that the big comet hit northwest Greenland and wiped out the ice shelf up there and caused all the mass flooding and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, but they don't change the if it's 12,000 years old, and we were we're not even in the Bronze Age at that point. We were still in the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
And who moved those stones? And how did they move them?
Yeah.
How did they build it? We were hunters and gatherers all around the world. Why were we living in a city in Turkey? You know, it creates the questions they cannot answer. That's why they're afraid of Bigfoot and everything else, because science can't answer these questions. And if we got to go back and say everything we know is wrong, then what else are they wrong about?
I think part of what it is that the science that we're allowed to know about can't answer these questions.
Yeah.
Right.
The science they know about can answer it, but they don't want us to know about that side of the whole science thing. There's the public consumption science like NASA, and then there's the real science that you're not being told about. You know, like lifting bodies and vortex engines and Die Glocke and, you know, Project Paperclip and the Nazi Base 211 in Antarctica and all that side. You're not supposed to know about any of that stuff. You're not supposed to know about all the hidden technology that they've been keeping secret from us for 70 years.
Yeah, it's true. They're frightened of us finding out the truth of whatever it is, whatever the true history of man is. It's too scary because either we were created by something that if we, like I said before, if we admit that it exists, there's something greater than us out there, then Russia's no more important than the United States, and vice versa. We're not Russia and the U.S. We're planet Earthlings here, and that they don't want.
Well, according to Werner von Braun, that was all part of the plan all along in order to get people to accept a one world government. They had various phases they were going to do, and on his deathbed confession, he told his secretary about the last two phases, which were yet to happen when he died. Phase one was worldwide war on terror. And, you know, of course, she said, how do you have a war on terror? This is a motion. Well, no, they're going to create terrorist armies, and then they're going to say they have to fight them. And they're going to get the whole world riled up over that. And then they have a couple other plans for massive depopulation. And if they can't get everything in line, then they do the fake alien invasion, rolling out all the technology they've been hiding for 70 years.
Well, I'd say their first problem was probably listening to a Nazi.
Mm-hmm. He was the head of NASA, don't forget. The guy
no, of course, yeah.
And his superior officer there was also his superior officer in the Waffen SS. So that's the whole problem. They also took over the CIA.
And they
were running the show.
They had to get Walt Disney to rehabilitate him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
With little Mickey Mouse and furry animals and explaining in every school kid how rockets work.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, kids. Get around. I'll teach you how it works.
Yeah, let me recommend a book on this subject called The Hunt for Zero Point by Nick Cook, who used to write for Jane's Aeronautics and did in-depth study on this whole lifting bodies and anti-gravity phenomena that they don't talk about. And, of course, he had access to all the people that were at the forefront of new avionics developments because he was writing for a magazine that was geared toward the top pilots that wanted to know what the new stuff that was about to come out was. So he got to go interview these guys all the time. And in the process of interviewing them, he started coming upon this other information they weren't really talking about and they wouldn't talk about on the record. And he started doing his own research over about 10 years. And he just uncovered this whole amazing, giant, high-tech cover-up that Joseph P. Farrell and a bunch of other authors have taken and run with. There's probably about 20, 25 books based on that book at this point. Die Glocke, the Nazi Bell, and all that stuff all came out because we were talking about this stuff.
Well, the Nazi Bell, I mean, so many people had seen, and yet they still say, you know, it wasn't there. But where did it show up again? Was it?
Hans Kammler actually commandeered one of the two remaining long transport planes that they had in their inventory at the end of the war. And he was the one that was in charge of all those projects. This plane was fully capable of flying from Germany to South America without refueling nonstop. His superior officer, Himmler, actually had control of it. And when he asked for it, Commler said, no, I have control of the plane. I'm going to use it. And then he and the Gluck both disappeared off the stage of history forever.
Well, didn't it show up in, what was it, Gexenberg in the forest?
We don't know that was the original one. That could have been, since we had the Project Paperclip scientist over here, they made another one. And it broke the tethers and got away from them. Yeah, because the Kecksburg acorn looks identical to the description of the Nazi bell.
Duke, you're like an stuff. I was going to say, Duke, you're like an encyclopedia on this stuff. I love it.
Well, don't forget, I did a mini series with Wes Germer from Sasquatch Chronicles about this stuff years ago.
I mean, in Poland, you go into the forest and you come out in this area, and there's actually still the holding. There's
the hinge, that big concrete hinge they built with the tethers on it to hold it in place. Yeah. Yep.
It's still there.
Yep. Yeah, and that whole massive underground facility that they built it in is still there too. They flooded it so nobody could get in there and see what was in there, whatever might be left,
Duke, I was going to say you should bring back the Conspiracy Corner. That was a great show.
Well, there is 2 more episodes that are up on places other than YouTube because they won't allow me to put them up on YouTube. So you can go see those on Rumble and BitChute and Odyssey. But I do have another episode that's coming out that's about Base 211 in Antarctica. So that's exactly what we're talking about right now.
What we all need to do is to, I always think, is to recognize. I mean, you tell me if it was for you, because it was for me. I mean, that's how this all started for me, was In Search Of.
Mm-hmm.
That we need to recognize this is, In Search Of opened up so many eyes to this and made little kids from our generation okay, we'll buy that because we saw it and Leonard Nimoy told us it's true.
Yeah, because Spock cannot lie. He's a Vulcan and he's purely logical. But what's hilarious is I just reposted one of those to one of my channels 2 days ago. I got it over on YouTube. It's one of the old, I can't remember if it's an In Search Of episode or if it's an actually strictly Let's Look Into Bigfoot show that he did. But either way, it's Leonard Nimoy. And the great part is they got all of these early researchers that are all, it's an ape running around the woods and blah, blah. We think it might be real and stuff, but way behind the guys nowadays. And at the end of the whole thing, I don't know if he had somebody write it for him or if he was involved in it or whatever, but he does this whole thing that completely contradicts everything they're saying and says Bigfoot are forest people, and at some point we'll make contact with them, and that'll be when we'll get to understand them better. And my jaw about hit the floor, and I went, how the hell did you figure that out? And all the rest of the experts on your show just contradicted you.
Wow. I mean, I remember the first time I saw the Patterson Gimli film, and I'm watching it, and I'm going, that's not a guy in a suit.
Mm-mm.
You could see the striations of the muscle. You could see how he turned and walked. That's not a human can't move like that.
Yeah.
I was convinced I was convinced after I saw that. That was it.
There's a newer version of that special effects and film expert Bill Munns took an individual picture of each frame of the film and then stabilized the whole thing and really high quality. And on that one, man, you could see the muscle rippling underneath its skin and everything. There's absolutely no doubt. You can't even make a costume that looks like that nowadays, much less back in '67.
Yeah, I mean, the way the arms are moving and the length of the arms, the size of the limb, not human size.
Yeah, in human proportion, its lower legs are too short and its forearms are too long.
And we didn't have CGI back then.
No, there wasn't any CGI. They would have had to made a costume that somebody could fit inside of. And the other thing most people forget when they're going, well, it's a guy in a suit. Well, are you aware of the fact that they got tracks from that guy in the suit?
Yeah.
And they actually went and pressure tested the area the guy in the suit walked across, and the guy in the suit would have had to weigh over 700 pounds to make tracks that deep.
I wish someone would be on the air back then, because that was the year that film was taken was what? It was 1967.
67.
All right. So 1976, I was a featured extra, and I had a small part in the 1976 King Kong. And Jessica Lange took me around, showed me the suits, how it all worked. If you saw how fake Kong looked. I mean, you watch the movie.
Yeah.
By today's standards, how fake it was.
Mm-hmm.
And this is they spent more money on that movie than they had spent on any movie in history when they made it. And you're talking about the best special effects people in Hollywood. Yeah. Couldn't you make a suit that looked as real as the Patterson Gimli footage?
Dino De Laurentiis too, top producer, giant budget, and
right.
And 10 years later. And these two rodeo cowboys supposedly made this amazing suit that fooled the whole world. Yeah. And the more technology we get looking at it, and kinesiology, and all the different stuff they can do with film nowadays and everything, and all the experts on locomotion looking at it and stuff. And the more science you get looking at it, the more it's proven it's real.
Yeah,
they're not debunking it; they're proving it's real.
If you remember when Kong's dying, Jessica Lange walks up to him. He opens his mouth like a little bit, and his eyes just move left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Inside that head was more like pumps and like hydraulics and these wires that were pumping air in to get these just the big eyes, the life-size eyes to move like a little bit, jitter, and that you had a free walking creature that walked across a field. You couldn't do that back then.
No. Now I like to bring up the fact there's modern videos of Bigfoot that are coming out pretty regularly. And nowadays everybody just goes, well, it's CGI.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know how hard it is to do CGI and how much budget it takes and how long it takes? And if that subject has got a couple blades of grass in front of him, you got to mask those 2 blades of grass when he's going past them. Multiply that by how many other things might be in the foreground. No way.
Let me swear to you, I make movies for a living, okay? And anyone who does CGI in Hollywood would never allow some of the crappy junk footage that we get of. He's always shadowed in a bush with a bush over him. You can't see his face. He's trying to hide behind a tree. He's just moving and doesn't see us. It's just this quick shot, and then he's gone, or he turns and goes away. No self-respecting CGI artist would do anything so crappy. You would get like a full roar in the whole face right in the thing, and the full movement. You'd see every speck of you get it in 4K when you'd see like every fly around his head. Everything would be moving. It would look so alive. I mean, did you see King Kong? Did you see what they can do? Yeah. No self-respecting CGI guy would make something that miserable that you can't tell what it is.
You know what? For me, it still comes down to one asset that everybody tries to play down, and that's the fact that these 2 not very wealthy individuals who created this suit decided to sew a pair of boobs on this alleged suit. And the funny part about it is that I always notice, and maybe you guys do too, is we got 2.5 minutes before we go to break here, is when we're looking at this thing, we're analyzing this with a 21st century mind, 2 decades into the 21st century. We're not thinking about this from a 1960s perspective. And the 1960s mind where people were still on the beach. The beach patrol was still measuring bathing suits, okay, for women to make sure that they weren't showing too much leg to turn the men on. That's the time of the year. Yes, free love was going on. Yes, the Vietnam War was going on and well into it, okay? There's a lot of political turmoil back then. But it was still a highly conservative society. And for anybody to sit there and think that these 2 bohunks who were hanging on out and decided to create a Bigfoot suit out of whatever material, and by the way, let's throw some boobs on it. All right? That's the big question that I always laugh, because you'll see people say, oh, you could tell it was just a saggy suit. No, there's definition.
It's like the Zapruder film. It took Kevin Costner and Oliver Stone to repeat it 300 freaking times in the movie. But when you shoot someone in the back of the head goes back and to the right. He didn't get shot from the front. He got shot from the back. It caused the head to go back and to the right. How many times do we have to watch it to see that?
Interesting you bring up the Zapruder film, because the only film on Earth that's been more studied than that is the Patterson-Gimlin film.
Right.
And getting back to Patty,
picture.
Another thing everybody forgets, and I'm sure David noticed this too, when she's walking along, her boobs are bouncing.
Yes.
And back in 1967, false boobs were a brand new thing that didn't work or look very real. And yet somehow these wizardry cowboy makeup experts made fake boobs better than the ones you could buy for humans with a limitless budget at that point.
Right.
Just to put in this ape suit.
Yeah, the best you could do for fake boobs is those blow-up dolls with the seams.
Mm-hmm.
You got that right. Gentlemen, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. We have Ian Holt, birthday boy, myself, the birthday boy. We're joined by our good Bigfoot friends, Nate Rudd from Washington State, and from YouTube's World Bigfoot Radio, we have Super Duke. Duke wears a cape during his show as well, so you may want to check out what cape he is fashioning for his show when he is on. We'll be back with Spaced Out Radio, the final half hour of the birthday show, right after this. Yes, we are talking Sasquatch boobs here on Spaced Out Radio.
It's like, well, we couldn't buy Playboy, but we could get National Geographic.
Oh man!
Oh my God! Richter Riolo has accused M.K. Davis of having a fetish for Patty because he keeps doing breakdowns of films on her all the time. And so basically he's got some kind of weird sexual thing going on there.
Shoot.
Well, weren't there stories of like there was a wild woman who was supposedly found grown up in the jungle, and they say like she's half Sasquatch?
I hadn't heard about that one.
You haven't heard about this one? They made a movie based on it, Nell, with Jodie Foster and Liam Neeson.
I did not see that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was a girl that was found in the wild. She was like a wild woman. She was covered with hair. And they thought that she was human, but she may not have been 100% human. They didn't have DNA back then. What? It's based on a true story.
Yeah, the Xena story where she had a son.
So you're talking about Zana, not Xena. And that's not in Africa. It's Georgia, and not the U.S. Georgia, but the one next to Russia, Georgia.
Zana, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's.
She had several kids that survived. Kavit was one of them. They already got his skull. And unbeknownst to most of the rest of the world, they also found Zana's skull, and they've got that. And that's getting DNA tested currently.
Wow. Okay. So that'd be real interesting to know what's going on there.
Yeah, there's some interest in there because of Rich Soul brought to their attention that there's this MUC7E gene in North Africa that doesn't seem to relate to any other human phenotype, so that they need to test the remains, especially of Kavit and also of Zana, to see if that matches up. So if she's from the North Africa, group, then that tends to buttress what Dr. Sykes thought. And if she isn't, then that tends to blow his theory out of the water, and she's probably a Sasquatch.
Now, we've heard, stories, endless stories of Sasquatch liking human women.
You get just the opposite from Eurasia. It's just the opposite. As a matter of fact, the Russian Orthodox Church has an incantation against being abducted by the female wild woman. And that's in their church. So apparently this happened often enough. The guys were getting abducted by these wild women that they thought it important that they would create an incantation to stop them from doing so. And the last time Rich Soul was on my show, he actually had the incantation and read it.
Well, this is before they had strip clubs for men to go to. So
yeah. So if you're out in the woods by yourself in Russia, apparently it's the guys that got to worry about getting kidnapped by the female Sasquatch. Over here in North America, it's just the opposite. It was the women that were getting kidnapped.
Well, you can't tell the wild woman from the non-wild woman because now everybody waxes.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just the wild woman couldn't tell the difference between their men and the Russian men.
There you go. Well, Russian guys are so hairy anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just like, oh, it's a shorter Sasquatch. He's cute.
It's all that vodka.
Well, I mean, Nate, at least
root came from.
Hey, Nate, that might, this hairy wild woman there, doesn't Hallmark Corey need a date?
Yes, he does. Matter of fact, yeah, good point.
Very nice.
We always tease Corey Dave that next time we go out, we're gonna rub some female Sasquatch estrus on his tent in the middle of the night or on his pillow.
Oh my!
Yeah,
I have to be careful because a hairy wild woman can be confused for the lead singer from Guns N' Roses these days.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, mean digs on Axel. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. I'm sorry. This birthday show may end fucking early.
Poor Axel. Hey, I'm going to go grab a couple drags off a cigarette here.
Yeah, you go, man. Hey, where's Fast Hemi? Fast Hemi was trying to call in, and we were going to try and get him in on here, too. Mondak, how you doing? Retro, we have on Retro on Twitch. We have no opinion because we are not a political show. We are a show of weird stuff, man. So if you want to get into the weird stuff, we'd love to have you here. But I don't do politics here on Spaced Out Radio, man. All right, we got 10 seconds. Thank you to all of the super chatters out there. You guys are amazing. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for your love of this show. We rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate listening to having you, all of you listening out there, that is. We want to say hello to everyone tuning in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free for you by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter @Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram @Spaced Out Radio Show. We're joined tonight by fellow birthday boy Ian Holt. He's a 72 edition. I'm a 73. Our good Bigfoot friend Nate Rudd from Washington State is here as well, and Duke from World Bigfoot Radio is here. I guess we're talking Bigfoot here. Right before the break, Nate, we were talking about, the potential costume. I mean, it's 55 years almost that we have been breaking down this Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film. Isn't it time to put this one to rest and go to a new film?
Oh, 100%, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any, controversy over it now. I mean, I think we all know it's legit. But yeah, it's time to move on. Let's see what else is out there.
The reason that film is still holds weight and people are always going to analyze it is because it's one of the few films where the creature is actually in the clear. There's no trees around it. I mean, it seems like when we get so many times they cross the road and you think, oh, well, you get him, clearly. It's always between the lights. I mean, these aren't dumb creatures. They know how to stay in the dark. So that this one was caught walking across an open area like that, I mean, that's really rare footage.
Midday, yeah.
Yeah, midday.
And Duke, I want to bring you in here for a quick second. Isn't it time to move on from the Patterson-Gimlin film? I mean, it's been 54 and a half years.
Absolutely. We've already proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's real, and we've already got a DNA study done, Ketchum DNA study. Like Steve on How to Hunt says, we've already proved it's real. Next question is, why is it being covered up? Who's covering it up? What's their agenda?
Well, there's always seems to be the next it's like, okay, we're going to take one step further. First, it was like, get us pictures. Okay, we got your pictures. Get us footage. Now we got your footage. Now it's like, get us DNA. Well, we've got DNA that we can't explain. Well, if you don't have a carcass, how do you confirm that it's where's the carcass? They're always going to put the next roadblock up.
Yeah. Yep. Which is, again, why I'm saying, why are we kowtowing to science? Screw them. They haven't been helping us along the way. We just about got it solved on our own. We don't need them. I'm in the camp that wants to sit back and laugh and throw eggs at them. So I'm looking forward to us solving it and sitting back and laughing and throwing eggs at them.
See, I take a little different thought on it. Like, why are these ghost hunters not taking all this evidence that they have and bringing it to the scientists and the Sasquatch people, bringing it to the scientists over and over and over again until they cannot deny doing the research?
What makes you think we're not? That's been going on for decades. They ignore it because look who's paying their paychecks. They're not public servants. They do the agenda of whoever is paying their damn paycheck. And if they say you don't look into Bigfoot, you don't look into Bigfoot. When Kevin was up here, we got 2 baggies of Bigfoot hair, properly collected, never contaminated, not touched by humans. Shortly after he got back, he dropped some of it off at a DNA lab. Within a couple days, the goon squad showed up, put a gun in his face, took the rest of his hair samples away. They fired the young gentleman that was working at the DNA lab, depriving him and his family of an income, and made sure that he could never get a job at another DNA lab. So what do you expect us to do? They're going to stop it no matter what. So why are we even bothering to try and work with them?
We need to get that story out there. The only thing that protects us from that kind of action is people hearing the story, journalists wanting to report it. Maybe things will change now that we have UFOs.
Again, people have been saying this stuff for decades. I've been hearing about it for a long time. Nobody acts on it. It's all crazy conspiracy theories, and it's not really happening, so nobody does anything. Pure government suppression. Don't forget, 95% of all the mainstream media is owned by 5 corporations. They have an agenda.
Well, the people that are doing the shows, are they being stopped from? I would love to see Jason Hawes take his evidence, and he says, "Oh, we're going to study it."
Ask yourself this question: why is it every mainstream media show about Bigfoot always presents it as an unknown ape running around the woods in North America? There's no divergence from that. If it's on mainstream media, that's what they're going to try and tell you.
Yeah, because they're trying to sound credible. And
they're trying to lie to you and make you look in the wrong direction, so you'll never figure out what's going on.
What they don't want to tell you is, we even said this before. Even if Bigfoot is not just a creature, let's say for a second it comes to a portal, it's a creature from another dimension. That these things are said, they're spiritual beings, like the native people say. Whatever that is, it's still based in science. None of these things are outside the realm of science. None of them are supernatural. They're all paranormal, but not supernatural.
Don't forget, science isn't about talking about things that have already been proven. Science is about proving things exist, and we've already proven it exists. So who gives a shit what science thinks?
Yeah, that's true. I just like people to be a little more open to when you hear it, because I've been saying Bigfoot is real since I'm a little kid, and people laugh at me, and they, the joke. We can talk about it openly here, but you're at college, you go, Bigfoot exists. People go, okay, he's a loon, and it's annoying. It's like, I'd like to be able to one time go, see, told you so.
Yeah. Well, I saw one when I was 10, so at that point I knew that basically there was a whole lot of lying going on, and who was doing it. And so I've been looking at the world through that perspective for 50 years.
You think about it. I've talked to Dave about this. I did a lot of ghost hunting, and I had the first time through divining rods, I had like a 20-minute yes-or-no conversation with a ghost. And that was so profound that not only did I think about, okay, so there is life after death. That implicates religion and everything else, and God and heaven and hell, and all those things that we talk about that require faith. Well, here's the beginning of proof. I had a 20-minute in a conversation with an intelligent entity. So why, and yet, if I use that to say to someone, I believe in life after death and I'm not scared of dying anymore, and that I know, my family that have gone on, my friends that have gone on before me, I'll see again. I believe that. Is that such a bad thing that people are so scared of ever imagining that a ghost could be real? I mean, what are the implications if a ghost is real? Is it going to hurt us or destroy our lives? No. And neither will finding Bigfoot.
All right.
Well, this has to do with the cowardice of some of the people in the community, too. They don't want to look at all the evidence that's in front of them.
Right. Let's introduce another listener to the show, Mondak, who's got a great podcast and everything as well, and obviously a fantastic goatee, hanging out there. We appreciate
Mondak.
We appreciate good facial hair around here. Mondak, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you. It's good to have you on here, man.
Thank you. So, the other end of the state, Duke's about an hour from Idaho, about an hour from the Dakotas. Montana's huge state. Huge.
Yeah, it would take 10 hours for me to drive over and visit Mondak.
Yep.
Very cool.
So,
very cool.
Just wanted to hop on and say happy birthday. So that's about it.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. And we love it when you're in our chat room. We know that when we do a lot of cryptid stuff, you're always there tuning on in, seeing who we're talking to and what we're talking about, man. I really appreciate your love and support of this show on a nightly basis, and it's good to chat with you.
Yep. All right. I'll let the let's get back to talking.
All right. Appreciate you, Mondak, everyone, from our chat room on YouTube. We really do appreciate that. God, I love our listeners. I really love it. One of these days, who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll try and work in some more phone calls.
Good idea.
I might do that. I may do that. I don't know. Not sure yet, but I may do that.
Dave, you got some really amazing people in your chat room. You'd be surprised who's out there watching you and some of the stories they can tell you.
I bet. Everybody has a story. Ian, what's the strangest story from Paranormally that you've ever been told?
Well, the strangest story that I know happened, I guess, to me, because it was, I was at home. I think I was like 5 years old, and the doorbell, there was a knock on the door, and I remember my mom going to the door, opening the door, and there was nobody there. And we closed the door and walked away. We lived in an apartment building, so it was like a hallway, and you had to walk down this hallway to get to the stairway, or you'd have to wait for the elevator. So they couldn't have just disappeared. So they would knock on the door. Nobody there. Okay, forget it. And then the doorbell rings. And my mom goes back. She's like, hello. She looks through the peephole. She doesn't see anyone. She opens the door. Nobody there. And there's no way. Now we go back, and like a few minutes later, ding dong, ding dong. The doorbell rings again, and my dad now gets up. Now he's really pissed. And he swings open the door. What the F? Right? Nobody there. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified, and that like changed my life. And it wasn't until I started working with Jason Hawes that he was talking to me one day, and he mentioned that so many things start with Ouija boards. And I remembered that when I moved from Long Island from Brooklyn, they didn't have video games back then. So my grandma bought me a Ouija board because I could play it by myself. When I'm like, before I go to sleep, or if I'm just hanging out alone in my room, I didn't know anybody yet. I just moved. And I used to play that Ouija board. We figured out, I opened the door and never closed it. And that was the beginning of my experiences. And ever since then, that weird experience with the door is like boggled me. Led me to ghost hunting, getting into Bigfoot, and cryptozoology and all this other stuff. And, I even went to the Amityville Horror House during Lorraine Warren's investigation with Ed Warren in '77. I lived in Long Beach on Long Island. I had my dad drive me a few times over to Westbury, and I'm knocking at the door at like 6 a.m, asking if I can join the seance because I read in the Newsday newspaper that they were investigating.
Wow.
So that all started with that knock on the door, that weird knock.
How about for you, Nate?
Yeah, similar deal, Dave. We lived in a haunted house for about 10 years, and I had some pretty intense encounters with full-blown half-torso apparitions, and was held down on the couch and in my bed multiple times. And so that's kind of what started it for me, too. I used to be more of a paranormal guy before I got into Sasquatch. And, of course, like we talked earlier, watching all the old In Search Of shows and stuff. But so that was, for me, other than my big hunting camp encounter I had with Sasquatch, that it was pretty terrifying. It goes back to the paranormal stuff at that house, stuff I experienced, firsthand. So I'm a big believer in all that. And I think it's kind of all connected in a way.
How about for you, Duke?
What was the question again?
Weirdest, strangest experience you've had.
Weirdest one that I can talk about happened when I was at the post office in 91 or 92. And I was working in rewrap. And rewrap is where, I was working at a bulk mail center, not a regular post office. There's only like 4 of them in the U.S. This one was in Egan. Had 111 loading days in it, semi-trailers. And 3 stories tall and fully mechanized, and to get 20 minutes to walk from one side to the other place is ridiculous. So anyway, I'm in rewrap. Stuff falls off the conveyor belts. It gets broke open. You've got to find the stuff, put it back in the package, rewrap it, put in a little note saying, we're sorry, you messed up. This stuff happens, or whatever's appropriate. You had to check what was in there if you could find all the contents, see what kind of condition it was in. The rewrap is like completely enclosed. It's caged in. You're locked in there, and they've got closed circuit cameras watching you the whole time. So you can't swipe anything or walk out of there with anything. There's no way possible. So one of the things that I got was this, it looked like a thin phone book type thing with a brown paper wrapping on it. And it said from NASA Houston to Washington, D.C. That's all it said. And it didn't appear to be really damaged or anything, but by protocol, you have to page through it and make sure there's no missing pages, it isn't scuffed, whatever. And all it was pictures of the face on Mars, taken from orbit by what I'm guessing is the second satellite that they put up that they claimed crashed and didn't work, because it was taken from different points of orbit. You could see below it on some of them. You could see like parallel with it on some. You could see above it looking down on some. You could see it from both sides. They were, higher resolution than the ones that they've released to the public. And this was, maybe 100, 120 pages of these pictures and stuff. And you could see everything. You could see there were eyelashes, there were teeth, there were eyelids, there were pupils in the eyes. The thing was perfectly symmetrical. It's a mile-long face on Mars. And when they tried to show you the picture of, look, this is just an anomaly caused by the light, and see, the side fell down and everything, and that's all BS. They made a fake doctored picture. I've seen the freaking real thing. It's a huge statue. It's a mile long. It's a face on Mars looking up at the sky. Period. End of discussion.
Wow. Wow.
I'm still on Bigfoot, man, and all of a sudden we're talking Mars.
Yeah, my show's called World Bigfoot Radio, not World Face on Mars Radio, so I don't usually mention this story. But this is the most bizarre thing that I've seen that I probably shouldn't talk about, but I already did. So there you go.
Well, that's some of the most interesting stuff, what that face is.
Well, the thing that I found interesting is I think it was about a year ago, Linda Moulton Howe was talking about this, and somebody had come forward and said they had 2 pictures in high resolution of the face on Mars that they had gotten from somewhere, and that they had seen them, and were talking to her about them. And I was just like, dude, I saw the whole book. I know that guy ain't lying, because those pictures exist. I've seen them.
Well, that's why they probably stopped the whole space program in the beginning.
Well, if you go by some of the stuff and, like the Hunter Zero Point and all that kind of secret tech that they're suppressing and stuff, there's reason to believe that we've already got bases there. There's bases on Mars. I mean, look at some of the video they got of the rover. There's a sandstorm. It covers up all of the plates on it that are gathering the solar radiation to keep it going, So now it's dead. It's not gaining any sun. So, there's nothing to power it. And it sits there for several days. And then all of a sudden it starts working again. In one of the first pictures, there's a shadow of what looks like a guy in a spacesuit leaning over it. Probably the guy that was cleaning off the solar panels, right?
Well, the big question is, did that happen on Mars, or did it happen in some desert here on Earth?
Yeah, and there's a big controversy about that, too. Somebody thinks they pinpointed which subarctic island they actually filmed this on.
See, I think that whole thing about the moon landing being faked is their answer to make us paranoid that all this stuff is fake, so that you sitting there seeing those pictures and saying, I know it's real, and then they go, oh, well, if they didn't go to the moon, they definitely didn't go to Mars, so the whole thing is fake, so you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. They designed that just to discredit people like you who've actually seen stuff.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting is how it's like the moon landing is partially faked. Like, we were really there. We really did land. Parts of what they let us see weren't really what was happening. There was the whole Kubrick involvement in that thing, too, where he was, they know for a fact he was filming stuff on a studio set. And that was, they said, in case something went horribly wrong. And they would have this other video to put out. But they also had this additional video to put out when they started filming the huge structures up there that they weren't supposed to be letting the public see. They could just put that video out instead, which is what they did.
Well, or the fact that, you land on the planet and the sound goes out.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's another one. If you remember, one of the astronauts said that there's a saucer over by the edge of this crater not very far away from us, and they're observing us right now. Well, recently, one of the UFO channels found a piece of video the astronauts shot where they were panning past that crater, and you could see the damn saucer sitting on the edge of it that they were talking about.
Right, or the Russian cosmonauts said they saw the angels, and then both of them admitted that they saw the angels and went public with it, died to fire.
Yeah, mysteriously.
Yeah.
Of course. Can't have witnesses to this stuff. That's just wrong.
Russians die so many mysterious deaths. It just happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so that vodka.
Right?
That's why they're so flammable. As soon as they get blown up in their capsule, poof, they just light right away.
Spontaneous human combustion, it's vodka.
Well, gentlemen, it's that time where we got to start wrapping things up for the birthday show. I really do appreciate it, guys. And Duke from World Bigfoot Radio, really appreciate you. Nate Rudd, you are a great friend and supporter of this show, and a friend of mine away from the scenes of everything behind the scenes. And I really appreciate both you guys for coming on. And Ian Holt, my friend, happy birthday, my bud.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, Ian.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just want to say it was an honor to sit here on this panel with you guys. All of you.
Likewise.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, Nate, next time, hopefully we could do a show when you're up here, man, in the studio.
Yeah.
That would be.
Get that board back open. Yep.
You got that right. All right, my friends, you guys hold on. We're going to start wrapping this thing up here on Spaced Out Radio. The birthday show comes to a close for another year. And we got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, and Derek and the Snarkettes dancing away at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing your evening with us, because together, my friends, say it with me,
we're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, yep, we've got room for them too. Good night.